Welcome back to Venetian Poker Live. It's time for the final table of the UltimateStack. The buy-in $1,100, $500K guaranteed prize pool. Let's have some fun with this one as top pro Jeremy Becker headlines this lineup of hopefuls as we take you inside the beautiful and brand new Venetian poker room on level 2 at the Palazzo. Don't miss out. Stop by for some action or just come and watch the stream. We have it playing on every single monitor here in the building. And here we are inside the Venetian Poker live stream. My name is Rem Karinkama, WSP bracelet winner, longtime pro Tristan Waite, also poker coach if you need some help. He's joining me in the booth today for some fun and, of course, some analysis, because that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to bring the energy, and these are the guys who are going to do it today. I mentioned it, Jeremy Becker. He is our headliner, but he's got tons of work to do, coming in with just 13 big blinds. We got Levy Klump at the bottom of the counts. Byung Shin is our chip leader, fresh off of a massive score across town, taking home 130K in an event just a few days ago, and he's looking to just add 2 W's to his resume in a short span of time, which will be truly epic. There's Becker, there's Pi, and there is Shin on the right-hand side of your screen. We're going straight into the action. Hand 1, action is underway. Let us know in the chat where you're watching from. Let us know if you're enjoying the coverage. We'll be here until a winner is crowned. We got $90,000 up top for the winner and 15K guaranteed for the final 7. As Shin comes in for the raise with Jack 6. By the way, Tristan, welcome. Your first ever time here on one of our Poker Go streams. Immediately part of our Venetian live crew. It's good to have you.
Thank you. It's awesome to be here. I really appreciate it. Yeah, we got the chip leader here. Shin, he's got all the chips. He's got 60 big blinds plus. He's going to be raising a bunch of hands, putting a lot of pressure on these guys. The second biggest stack only has about 30 big blinds. So I'm excited to be here. I'm looking forward to seeing how this is going to play out.
Oh, wow, baby. Nadelku not messing around. There must be some history here from the small blind. 3-betting to 500K. Look at this.
I mean, I wouldn't be doing this first hand of a final table. This is really aggressive, but you know, he knows what the deal is. He knows Shin is going to be just raising any kind of hands, and Queen 4 offsuit's a little out of line, or really out of line. But if you think the chip leader's just going to come in blasting, well, by all means, go for it with any 2.
I mean, about as out of line as you can get on hand 1 of a final table. But Nadelku showing that he's not to be messed around with. However, doesn't show his card, so at least we'll all be in the dark here as far as these players go on what they're doing here. But we're off to a good start. If this is going to be the theme of the day, well, we're in for a good one.
Personally, that's what I think. I don't know.
Really interesting. I mean, that's just the psychological kind of warfare right there when you look at it.
Now
the strategy's out the window. It's like, I know this guy's a chip leader. I know he's raising a bunch. I'm just going to attack and hopefully don't run into it.
The first question I had for you was in relation to what you would do in Shin's position, and then we get Nadelku just fighting back immediately. Would you still stick to that strategy, though, of trying to be overly aggressive to keep the pressure on? Yeah,
Shin's in the driver's seat here. I mean, you have short stacks, right? We have 2 short stacks that are 12 big blinds. There's pay jumps. So that's just the nature of a final table when there's that much money at stake. The chip leader can really be aggressive, take advantage, and everyone else has to kind of adhere to those rules, quote unquote.
Right.
And now we saw the first hand that wasn't what happened, but typically people are going to be a little more passive.
Yeah, passive can definitely pay off as far as laddering goes. Sometimes that means you give up some equity as far as how your chances of winning develop, but sometimes that's just the way the game plays. Jeremy Becker, however, might be someone, given his experience and resume, who doesn't care too much about finishing 4th here.
Yeah, I don't think he cares. He said he's putting all his money towards makeup, so maybe he's shooting for first place anyways.
Oh, man.
But, you know, that's a spot where, look,
Jack
Jack 9 off normally would defend almost all the time against a button open for a small amount, and we see it into the muck, and that's just because we're at a final table with pay jumps, and we just don't know. Now, when the stream catches up to them and they see how Nadelku is being aggressive to start, they might start altering their strategy.
All right, once again, welcome everyone. Thanks for tuning in. We're excited to bring you this final table coverage from Venetian Poker Live. Let us know if you have a friend or family member playing at this final table. Always love to hear from people who have perhaps a little bit of an extra sweat here, as Alakani finds ace-king, 2 million chips. Let's see what he comes with.
I mean, these are the hands you hope to look down at. Top 5 hand, 20 bigs. Usually just going to come in for a small min raise and
300,000.
see what happens.
Just going for the classic 3x. This man has watched rounders. Clump, disciplined. Let's go the king jack. That's just trouble right now. Abbas Alakani, who goes by Ed from Tehran, Iran.
See Becker toss 2 4s in the small blind there. Really not much else he can do, given it's a big open from early position, and he only has 10 big, so he's going to take a spot where he has more fold equity. We see A7 off into the muck too.
Disciplined stuff here from the other players. Once again, the dreaded word of ICM comes into play quite a bit, especially here playing 7-handed. The blinds at 50K, 100K. We've got Becker and Clump basically on 10 bigs. Everyone will be looking at them to move some chips around. Especially players like Pi, Shavac, and Adelku, they are sort of right in line to get pressured by Shin given these chip differences. Shin will probably not be messing around with the short stacks. He'll probably try and target the bigger stacks that are below him.
Yeah. And that's just how it goes, right? You can just enter a lot of pots. You can just hopefully win 250K. You know, when you come in for a small raise of 200,000, you're risking 200,000 to win 250K. And people shouldn't play back at you too much.
Ash folds around to Pi in the small blind.
This is a tough spot. You have an offsuit ace. If you had less chips, you might be more aggressive here. We see the chip leader wake up with a monster in a spot where he's probably just going to be very aggressive. So this is going to be a tough spot with ace deuce off. But maybe we just avoid a confrontation.
And Shin comes over to top 350. Definitely putting Pi to the test. Now, Pi's perception is likely going to be, oh my god, the chip leader just messing with me. But luckily for him, he probably doesn't have enough hand to go with here.
Yeah, with his stack, usually around 20 bigs, this would just be like an all-in spot. But it looks like he's going to use his hand as a 3-bet or a limp raise bluff. Because he has the ace blocker, and he doesn't want to commit all of his chips. And I think this is a pretty good find, given that this hand is almost impossible to play out of position as a limp call, the ace deuce off.
So Pi makes it 950. Absolutely massive here, starting the hand with 2.8 million. As Tristan mentioned, going for the limp raise, knowing that Shin's range will include a lot more than ace-king.
Yeah, he's going to really be doing this with a lot of just bottom of range hands and top of range hands. Now, when you have an offsuit ace yourself and you limp, you have a pretty strong holding yourself. And like I said, it's really hard to play this out of position. But this is 2 versus 1, and 1 has twice as many chips. So this is going to be bad for the second place stack, but I like the way he's played it at least.
Yeah, sometimes in poker, you make a move you're supposed to make, and it just doesn't work out. And Shin here announcing raise. We're not just going for a jam here, even though that might feel like a natural move. But he's just going to click it back so it looks.
Yeah, hey, you know you have the best of it, you're ready to get it all in, and you want to leave the door open a little bit for your opponent.
Tim, Tim.
No way.
And good discipline by Tim. I mean, that's a tough spot. Ace deuce off out of position against a chip leader. I think it's a really well-played hand, even though he lost 9.5 bigs.
Cooler.
Shin on an absolute tear these last couple of days. Like I mentioned, just won a tournament for 130,000 across town. Maxed late reg basically into this event and ran up a massive stack, now up to 7 million chips here in the early goings of this final table with 90K up top. So he's looking pretty good for back-to-back wins on this trip to Las Vegas. Short stacks, of course, we'd love to see someone else get eliminated, but for now, Shin just knocking the other players down, extending his lead. This tournament, by the way, 452 entries in total.
What do I got here?
The final 7 guaranteed 15K. And Jeremy Becker finds the goods here. Ace King of Diamonds on 10 big blinds.
Awkward stack size to do anything other than all in, but you typically want to have some small raising around 10 to 12 big still with top of range and bottom of range. But we'll probably just see this get all
I'll
in.
bet 700,000.
700,000 raised.
Announces 700,000, raising most of his chips here, basically declaring that he's not going anywhere.
Pot committed.
Yeah, I do wonder about the validity of sizing such as this. If he comes in for the min, can he get someone to do something crazy? In this case, with a raise like
Thank
this,
God
that's impossible.
The two cards are not the same.
Yeah, that's.
I wanted the action,
I'm
I
happy
swear.
that he's not.
He's not lying. He has, you know,
I know
ace
it's
king suited.
Most of
The
your
most
chips.
unique
I
hand in
had to
poker,
gamble
hardest to
there.
make, highest value hand.
I didn't.
You just wanted 700 of action though, because if a lot of money goes in, maybe you get away.
What happened?
You just wanted 700 worth of action.
No, I was ready to
I look at the
Put it
first
all
one,
in.
it was very good.
How many people go in behind before you let this, let the 700
And
go?
that's why at
One.
10 bigs, it's really hard to strategize with the raising strategy
I had
because
top of the deck.
I
You
said,
mostly
oh
are
God,
just gonna
if
have
the
hands
other
that-
one is the same, what I'm going to do?
are qualified to shove.
Somebody's going to exit
Or
from
fold.
the...
Sounds like you got a deuce.
But if he had any more chips, he could have just played a raise strategy and hope that someone behind him gets creative and does something goofy like the chip leader. Or the big blind defends and you
Or-
make money that way.
Or Nadelku finds Queen 4.
Yeah, that too.
All it takes is one customer. That's definitely the case. By the way, if you're catching us on the PokerGo YouTube channel or on PokerGo.com or even elsewhere, we are streaming in many different places. Please know that Venetian Poker Live has its own YouTube channel where daily clips are posted. We are doing high-stakes cash games and tournament final tables on the Venetian channel. So if you want to catch all the highlights in case you don't get to watch all the streams, please make sure to subscribe to that Venetian Poker Live YouTube channel. Turn on the notifications. We'll be in your inbox whenever something big happens. And boy, oh boy, that we have some big moments at our most recent cash game.
I believe it.
I'm still not sure whether Brian O can actually fold the trip eights, but you know we'll probably get some give that some attention later on during this stream as Nadelku here flops top pair versus Shin with a gut shot.
The Delku first to come into the pot.
Getting your choice.
Queen
White
Jack
or black,
offsuit,
yeah.
definitely a bottom of range hand. One of the worst hands he's
Black
going to
every
raise
time.
with
I would go
there.
black.
We see the chip leader defend a suited connector on the button. It's a pretty good hand to see a flop with, and you can apply pressure post flop, as we see him do here with a gut shot.
Call.
And Nadelku just comes along and makes the call. Do you like Nadelku playing this a bit slower?
Yeah, I think it's a good strategy overall. You're out of position. You're against someone who's going to have a very wide range to abuse the ICM pay jumps here. And you have the Queen of Spades as well, top pair, backdoors. You're only worried about an ace or king turning, really. That hurts your equity. But we'll see how Shin navigates moving forward on an overcard.
Check.
River brings a 6. Nadelku probably on two thoughts here, potentially. One thought value, one thought can I get Shin to bluff?
Absolutely. That's really what it comes down to here when the turn goes check, check. Nedelku's hand qualifies for a value bet, but it might make more money to check it over to the chip leader.
He does lead himself. Not confident that Shin would bet at this. Now, what are we targeting as far as value here, betting 350 on the river, given the way this hand is played out?
Just a worse pair. A 7, a rivered 6 if he has, like, I don't know, ace 6 of spades or something, which could have been a 3-bet candidate. Yeah, just something like that. A worse pair, a worse jack, I would say.
All right, Nedelku up to 3 million, separating himself a little bit from the rest of the pack. Of course, Shin's still on top at 6.5 million.
Thank you very
but we
much.
are still 7-handed in this event. Coming at you from the Venetian Resort, Las Vegas. Little look here at the chip count, 65 bigs for the chip leader.
Okay.
9.3, look at that accuracy, 9.3. That's what the Wizards like to see. We got to get real exact here with these big blinds. We are playing 50K, 100K with a 100K big blind ante. I do think that once the dam breaks, we might see a string of big all-ins. Right now, everyone's seemingly sort of feeling it out.
Yeah, I mean, look at the 4 of the 7 players have 20 big blinds or less. 2 of them have half of 20. So there is going to be a lot of action here
Yeah, give me
quickly.
a latte with
It's just the nature of the beast. Now, how passive, how patient can the short stacks be is my question.
Right. Now, you've coached a lot of people over the course of your career. Let's say you were coaching, let's just, pick a player here. Let's pick Shivash, who is sort of like a middling stack right now. What advice would you give him in this specific scenario?
Well, my first advice would be ace-8 offsuit under the gun is probably not going to qualify. We would be very tight. We would just be very, very tight. We would be waiting for a couple pay jumps. My advice for opening range would probably be closer to 10 to 12% of hands or something like that, especially in first position. But
big fold.
there is some merit. These are the good hands to raise. This is probably the worst hand he could consider raising here. Ace-8 offsuit, ace-9 offsuit. But yeah, typically I would just say, hey, you got the chip leader, 3 to your left. You're kind of in between all these short stacks. Just wait it out a little bit, and then around 5-handed and 4-handed, we'll pick some more spots.
Pay jumps not insignificant here today. You can use the Nightbot command in the chat if you want to find out. If you're watching us elsewhere, please know that it's 15K for 7th. Then we go to 19, 26, 34, 47, 64, and 90K up top. This tournament had a 500K guaranteed payout.
Okay, so yeah, we see 5K pay jump, another 6K pay jump, a 20K jump from 7th to 4th. So that's pretty sizable. That's big money there. 20K, could buy a car.
Yeah. Well, as most players have done so far on their bio sheets for the events that I've covered here at Venetian Poker Live, they normally write down that the money will go towards A, gambling, or B, the next couple of tournaments, which, of course, is the right way to do it.
Yeah, and don't forget,
You smile at
Modi, he said he's going to give it to his wife.
Oh, that's the third option.
Yeah.
That's always the third option.
That might be better to be the first option for some people.
Oh my god.
In no particular order.
right back to sleep.
Alakani
the
here
worst case
with
I've
king,
ever
queen off. It's going to make it
Sure, it's bad,
255. Going a bit smaller. We saw him earlier making it 3x with ace king.
Relax.
It's great that these
recording.
middling stacks are still being active, still raising quality hands. I mean, nobody's too scared,
You're very good at seeing.
which is good to
Gotta be
see.
careful. You stay in there.
I tell you, I told you. I'm an honest guy. Told you last time.
And I kind of do like a little larger size. I mean,
protect
255 there,
those cards better.
2.5x. I do think at this stage, depending whose big blind you're raising, you do want to have some variety in your raise size open. Not always just adhering to a 2x, maybe a 2.2, maybe a 2.3, and then even 2.5 is probably about as large as I would go at any point.
If I was Shin, I would just raise to 65 big blinds. Let's see how they respond to that.
He can actually, with his chip lead in certain scenarios, he can do that. But notice the stacks behind. The biggest one is 29 big, so we probably won't see too much of all-ins, but it is
Right.
definitely a strategy that he could incorporate at some frequency depending on what hands he has. And if I see, if there's any more disparity, if we see him, you know, keep the chip lead and other people go around 20, we could see hands like this ace-4 offsuit be a bit more aggressive.
Yeah, Shin has a massive benefit of the big stack. And in a way, given experience at final tables, Becker is sort of his biggest opponent. However, Becker severely handcuffed by his lack of chips.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
I don't know how much the sheepskin coat's going to help him here, because chips are what you need at a poker table, but that's a nice-looking Raiders jacket.
Yeah, but
Brown, you got
Raiders don't inspire much confidence these days.
Oh.
No,
Got
but
7.
they still have the
Including
stigma to
including
them.
the big point, but
And
7
that's all
grand.
that's all you need. You need confidence and a little prowess.
I think Becker will be the first to pull the trigger when he gets a good spot. Despite his smaller stack, he's got to be one of the favorites here with all of his experience. Sort of came onto the scene a couple of years ago. Everyone sort of shocked at the amount of results he was putting together, just the sheer volume of caches. He's basically 2 caches away now from having 500 total live tournament results, which is absolutely insane. He's only cashed for 6 figures on 3 occasions, his largest being the Poker Masters win inside our PokerGo studio in September of last year. So if you want to use the word grinder for a player, it really applies to Jeremy Becker, who has $3 million in earnings across 500 caches, which is just ridiculous.
Yeah, he's been at it since 2016, I have here. And also, one interesting stat that I saw was 9 of his 10 biggest scores come in the last 2 years.
Oh, there we go.
Where he's played a lot of the PGT events and some of these bigger events in Vegas. So yeah, definitely a long-time grinder over the last decade almost, and kind of has had his opportunity the last few years, I think, and he's taken advantage of it.
If you followed along with our coverage of the, I want to say it was the PGT kickoff or the last chance, Jeremy Becker, also a top-tier tilter, as shown by some of the social media clips we posted on the PokerGo channels. Got his aces cracked one too many times and lost his mind in a funny way. To me, as a spectator, we know it all hurts when that does happen, but let's hope Becker can deliver the goods here today at this final table. Nedelku finds ace-10 off. He's off to a good start so far. Has chipped up 1.1 million in the early goings here.
So here he's going to raise into the chip leader's big blind. So he goes a 2.5x, and we see
Whoa,
Modi with a quick all-in.
very quick. Maybe too quick?
Possibly, yeah. With this kind of stack variation, you could essentially 3-bet the top of your range. But this is one of those hands, ace-king off, so you don't really want to mess around with because you don't want to play post-flop to someone who has a good enough hand to call your raise.
Yes.
Nedelku calls the hand out.
There it is.
Get shown the goods.
Nedelku with the read. Mordecai, Shavach goes by Modi. Picks this one up.
And Becker puffing his cheeks out a little bit because he folded a pair and he knows some of the ace-x outs were revealed. So I'm sure he's a little tilted. Speaking of how he's a tilter,
Yep.
he might be a little tilted there.
Speaking of Modi, who just got the shove through here, has never cashed for more than $4,000 in a live tournament. So this is already his largest score to date. Not someone who frequents tournaments often. I'm going to assume here that he plays a lot more cash.
Yeah, actually, I saw that, right? I don't know. I saw he had 4 scores, but I'm not sure if my notes were right or not on this guy, but he might have had a 6th place in a 1,500 monster stack, possibly.
That is interesting to dive a little bit deeper in. If this is wrong, I'm gonna have to seriously get after my guy Sean here, who does the bios. I'm just kidding, Sean. Sometimes these people have multiple profiles. Either way, we got Nedelku making it 250. Becker sitting on $1 million, looking down at ace-jack. Does he want to potentially get into a coin flip situation here?
This is probably the
I'll bet
worst hand you're actually
775.
considering to go with, and I think it's a good spot considering his stack, and he's basically tied for shortest stack. And Nedelku has shown the aggression here to play how many hands in? 3 or 4 hands out of 12. So I like this shove.
Action back on the initial razor. Becker is ready for the pain. But Nedelku just has 6s. Oh, wow.
Gotta
Look at
call
this.
with confidence.
The action goes all in. And we've got ace-jack versus 6s.
Thank you.
Becker's tournament life on the line with the overcards. Nedelku not concerned
It's a classic.
about running into a higher
What
pair.
do I need here?
Did see 1-6 folded, did see 1-ace folded.
Becker, 2.3 million in the middle. Tournament life on the line. This is a tournament-defining type showdown as we see
Not the king queen.
King 7 Queen.
2/3 of the way there.
Becker picking up a
Hold on,
Broadway
10 of
draw.
heart?
They're all hard, right? No.
Looking
two
for
10 of heart
an
for the
ace, a
flat.
jack, or a 10.
Oh, 7 of diamonds.
Backdoor hearts available to him as well. Becker needs some help though. Let's see the turn card.
Just what?
Yeah, what? I can't take this.
Queen on the turn.
Oh my
Additional
God.
This is
outs.
classic, too many outs.
The screen is almost too
Use my
small.
diamond.
Ace of clubs.
A true
Use of diamonds.
50-50.
Classic case of too many outs, or is Becker
Oh my
gonna
God,
deliver
this is
something
amazing.
on the river that keeps him alive?
Whoa.
And it is
Did I
the
say
ace
ace
of
of
clubs
Ace of clubs.
that keeps Jeremy Becker in the hunt,
Nice
and
deck.
this will change the tournament.
All in, Jeremy, so.
God bless.
Yeah, that's a big pendulum swing there, right? You see the second shortest stack now leapfrog a bunch of other stacks to third, and Nedelku is now going to be the third lowest stack with 16 and a
Second
half
all-in of the
bigs.
tournament.
So that's definitely an
Never lost your
interesting
all-in,
spot
so
there,
I'm
Remco. I
2-0.
know it. Everyone just looks at it like a coin flip,
Producers are
but
happy.
when you know, kind of what we were talking about,
wanna
how
kick
you
him
want to
off,
just avoid
The most
confrontation.
handsome
You want to
guy.
We gotta keep
preserve
the
your
female
chips.
viewers watching.
So that's a really interesting
Thank
kind
you.
of scenario overall if
All
we,
four
if
of
we
them.
look back at that.
Yeah.
One of them is Jeremy's mom.
No, I actually didn't even tell my mom in case I busted quick. If it goes well, I'll tell her, hey, watch this. I'll
Yeah.
send her.
Watch the replay.
Sorry. Yeah, right.
All right, nice double up there for Becker and Nedelku, who's been
Ace on the river.
our most active
Feels
player.
good.
Felt good on the
I'll
turn?
tell you.
So here we see
No.
the blinds
Yeah,
go
you-
up.
you seem very
Clump is in the
nervous.
big
I
blind.
told
Clump's
you it
had to
was
put in
nerve-wracking, bro. They make you wait
240,000 of
for
his
forever.
I bet the turn
900,000.
board pairs is super
So
fair.
if we kind
you
of
know?
look at that last hand,
don't ask for too
you could
much.
see, well, maybe it's
That's seven
better
diamonds,
for
to
me
be
to
fair.
avoid confrontation.
queen's
Maybe
just
it's
good.
better for me just to stay out of the way
Two and
until we
all in,
lose
all
some
in.
players.
That's good, clean
If you
liver.
think about the raising range of Nedelku, he's probably not raising 2s, 3s, and 4s that much. So 5s and 6s become like the worst hands he's going to raise with. And then if we look at Becker's range, he's not really going to be playing that aggressive. So you could even consider folding some of those small pairs
What did you
because
finish
you're
yesterday?
always flipping at best and you're never dominating someone.
Right.
I'm scared.
And then the risk you take to jump from 25 bigs to 16 bigs at this stage of the tournament with a couple short stacks is kind of hurts your playability.
Well, Modi here scaring Becker into folding ace-jack. Perhaps that has to do
Call
with some reads from
Call.
yesterday.
I already forgot I'm on the stream. Forgot to put my card.
Shin is going to make the call in position with
That
king,
fast?
queen.
It's good.
Confident in his post-flop play. And Clump here getting a decent price here with
Thank
the
you.
suited ace.
Yeah, really good price here. You only have 6.5 bigs back or whatever it is. Probably a little less now with the blinds increasing. So I think it's a place where you have to call. I would not have went all in here. I think there's more value in calling and seeing a flop first because you don't have fold equity per se here. One of these players is going to call you. I would have rather seen a flop and then made decisions depending on what equity I flopped.
How much?
They added an extra level before the break, right?
Modi
Supposed to be an hour 19. when
running
we
some
started.
numbers here.
And this puts Modi in a really tough spot. He knows the chip leader's behind here. He's going to call with any two cards. So Modi now has to weigh the decision of how much do I want to risk here, and is my hand worth it? But it looks like he's just going to flick this in, given the price, but maybe he's going to ponder it a bit more because it's not quite cut and dry. If it was just heads up here, it's easy call with the chip leader behind you.
Yeah, it does
find a fold.
let go and now gets back to Shin, our chip leader, who is making that face you make when you know you're priced in. We're going to take this to showdown. We got ace high versus king high.
Best case scenario for Klump here. He got the better hand to fold, and he's heads up 60-40 with dead money in there to now 2.5x up. This isn't a double up. This is a bigger than a double up.
I had ace jack out. I'm the
Levy
worst.
Klump,
Yeah.
a Las Vegas native. Went to Bonanza High School in Clark County, so definitely representing the Valley. Here comes the flop.
No, I
3,
feel
10,
ace
7.
jack. And then
Looking
folded
clean
ace
here
jack.
for ace high. Shin looking for a king or a queen or some kind of backdoor magic. Otherwise,
They were
Klump
smiling
will
at me.
receive
I was like, oh, man,
a
he might be
massive
pulling me off
increase
and
of
in the
2.5x, but it's the king on the turn, and Klump now drawing to 1 out as the ace of spades and the ace of hearts have already been folded. Levy Klump about to make his
21-8.
departure here from this final table unless he can find a miracle, and it is not there.
Good luck, everyone.
Levy Klump eliminated in 7th place, takes home $15,000 for his efforts.
The rich get richer.
What a brutal way to go as Shin asserts even more dominance on this final table,
it easy,
now
man.
up to 7.6 million chips.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say about that hand. I mean, I get Klump's decision there. You got 6 big blinds.
Were
You
you
look down
messing
a
around
suited
versus
ace,
Tim on the 4-bet?
and then
We're
look,
about
you
to find
find
out.
yourself in a great spot.
I want to see it.
Well, I don't
But-
think they're showing cards.
Yeah.
This game is
I
tough. You
think
got to
he
win
had,
those
like,
hands if you
ace-4
want to
off.
win a tournament. That's really what it
Which
comes
one?
down
The one
to.
that against me?
Yeah, the only 4-bet.
You got to win your flips, kids.
Who knows? Maybe
It's a lot of it.
Make your free throws and win your flips. Those are sort of
I'm
the
gonna say
two
no.
things to live by.
Yeah, something.
You're halfway there, buddy.
Huh?
You're halfway there.
I'm halfway there. Oh, king? I don't know. I don't know what that means.
19K
It's on
guaranteed
the
for the
screen
final
over there.
6 now, as the ICM
No,
pressure
really
starts to
not
mount
cards.
because
Wow.
Shin, given his
maybe you
chip
can look,
lead,
buddy.
can
Look
be
at your
even
eyesight.
more aggressive now. And it also helps when you pick up ace king.
Never
Most
hurts when
mobile,
you're a
just-
chip leader and you're looking at monster hands, especially in positions where you're going to be raising basically half the deck here on the cutoff. Now there is a dead small blind, right? So it's just a single big blind here from someone who's been playing back a bit.
Yeah, Nadelku found queen 4 good enough on the first hand of the final table to fight back, but after doubling up Becker, he might find himself to be a bit more conservative. And Shin, once again, picks this one up. Welcome, by the way, to the show, all the people that are tuned in right now. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel, especially if you're catching us on Venetian Poker Live on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe to that brand new channel. We got over 2,000 subs in the first couple of weeks, which we're really stoked about. But of course, the journey to 10K, you know, we're on it right now. We're trying to make this happen. My name is Remco Rinkema. Tristan Wade alongside me in the booth to provide some expert analysis as we will take you all the way until a winner is crowned here at Venetian Poker Live.
We are almost at that stage of stack distribution where Shin can just pile chips in the middle. The stacks behind him are almost all 25 bigs or less, and he has 8 million nearly. So there might be some instances where we just see Shin shove small pairs, suited aces, suited broadways, offsuit broadways, because Modi here in the big blind with the second biggest stack of 3 million is really not going to be too incentivized to play back at him.
Nadelku just keeps it simple, just jams from the small one, no trickery here.
If no ace king, fold.
Tell him, Modi, if you don't have
I'll
ace
show you
king,
one time.
don't even bother.
Ace.
Shows ace. You're pretty happy to look
Never
down
show
at
the
an
deuce.
ace there
It's
in the
always
small
ace.
blind. So Now, there's some
Always when you
other
have it.
strategies with suited aces there in the small blind as a short stack. You can limp to trap, limp to induce, but shoving is always fine too, given that you get to take down the pot a lot.
Less headache.
It is. It is a lot less of a thinker, but sometimes you miss out on value that you would gain either post-flop or having someone make a misstep pre-flop. So this is kind of one of those scenarios. I mean, these hands are kind of crappy if all the money goes in, if you just jam here. So we probably just see raising as a strategy, but it's almost a good enough hand as well, just if you wanted to pounce to just rip it. But it's a little too many chips here, and there's 4 players to get by. And see, if you did jam a hand like this, would just have to hit the muck. But now it's probably going to find a way to see a flop.
So Modi out of position, going to come along. And Becker finds a nice one here. Ace check of clubs. Now, he doesn't have to give Shin much credit because he's going to be incentivized to raise a whole lot of hands. Are we considering... I mean, I'm maybe too aggressive. Jamming here?
No, I think this is a great spot for a jam. There's 740,000 in the middle. The small blind really shouldn't have too many top hands.
Right.
Ace, king, aces, kings, queens, even jacks per se. So this is a spot where you're happy to put in money. We see Jeremy
Big bet.
with a smile.
Big bet announced, Jeremy Becker. No messing around. Keeping just a few chips to shuffle with behind. Shin quickly lets it go. And this is not the spot Modi was looking for.
145?
King, queen suited, I mean, it's a tough one here, but you're really not going to want to risk your stack now with this situation in front of you. It's a pretty hand, though, right? Both these hands can make a royal flush. Always hard to let that go.
Yep. And Moti does let it go. And Becker with a beautiful pickup here. No flop, no showdown,
One special.
no heartache.
Should have raised less.
You know, I thought like 70% sure you're gonna do that and pitch. You know, I thought you were just messing around.
I don't mess around, man. I play honest poker.
It does seem like there's some dynamic with Shin and Becker as a kind of friendly rapport. So that will be interesting to see how that plays out in the play. Because Becker is probably Shin's biggest adversary right now in terms of stack size and how this final table might play out.
And also given Shin's resume
Done
around
something
town,
else. I knew how many blinds I had. It was like 17, right?
you could probably find final tables where Shin and Becker have faced off
2.4
before,
is 20.
given how many events they've
I
both
think it was
cashed in Las
17.
Vegas.
Really good fold there by Nedelku, excuse me, on the cutoff with ace-6 offsuit. I think a lot of people might ponder a raise fold there or a shove. It's just a little too loose, so that's a really good fold. And we see Becker with the ace-10 off here, the small blind.
1.660.
Goes for the all-in, which is the right play, and offsuit aces just want to jam
Did I
on the
say it
big
wrong?
blind.
Sorry.
It's not a heater.
Catching some cards.
Yeah, Pi completely handcuffed and getting pushed around by the two
Got the
big
berry.
stacks on either side of him.
It's nice to finally have the Barry be good for you, you know?
Yeah.
That felt good.
Hello.
It is funny, by the way, I'm saying big stacks, but we're still talking about 23 bigs for Becker, which, you know, in the context of this final table is a lot, but still, we're not very deep.
Yeah, that's a really good point. But that goes to show how strategies really adjust at a final table, because 20 big blinds is a lot. 10 big blinds is still a lot. You really have a huge risk premium with the pay jumps. So you got to learn how to adjust and play a shorter stack, because, shoot, I wish I was at this final table with 8 big blinds right now.
Exactly. Exactly. Now, does Becker have to be more conservative with
240?
the chip leader in the big blind?
Absolutely, but hands like this are still kind of not top, but pretty darn good. offsuit broadways on the button, you get to play in position typically. Yes, he's got to worry about the chip leader in the big, but he shouldn't be folding a hand like that.
And Shin finding the antidote here. King, queen, looking very pretty up against king 10. Now, if you're Shin here, do you want to basically punish? Do you want to see a flop? What's sort of the regular approach?
The regular approach would be an all-in, honestly. You have the chip lead, you're against a button open, who's going to have to raise fold offsuit ace-x, raise fold small pairs. This is kind of more of a passive approach with king-queen, but I think that would have been a really good opportunity for Shin to keep flexing his chip lead and just pile in all the money.
All right, Jack 10, 7, 2 clubs. Becker opts to check back. He's got the 10 paired. Shin does have an open-ended straight draw.
Really probably won't see Shin do too much betting now. He has good showdown value with king-queen high. He can check call, a turn bet, and a good pot control by Becker here with middle pair to not want to get blown off his equity. So we do see chips coming into hand. Maybe trying to target an ace high to fold at this point, but again, on certain runouts like this, even the good ace highs aren't going to fold. Like if you have an ace 8, ace 9, ace queen, ace king, typically hands that check back on these board textures are going to have some kind of showdown value if you're in Becker's spot.
Becker with the decision not only on the turn, but also anticipating what could transpire on the river, especially given stack sizes. If Shin's feeling it, he could use any card that looks remotely scary to fire again on the river.
Yeah, the good thing for Shin is he has a king of clubs. If a club landed, he could have used that as a bluffing candidate. But on this run out, it's less likely you get an ace high to fold. It's more likely your opponent has some kind of showdown value. So I would expect give ups, especially since Shin's going to get to this river with way worse holdings as well.
Shin does glance over at his chips with 1.5 million in the middle. Can he do something crazy like represent a 7 by jamming? Would that make any sense? Would you bet a 7 on the turn?
Not really. I think if anything, a jam would represent maybe a jack, not a 7. You know, if you had hands like 8, 9 here, you kind of hate this run out. So think about it like that. What would the range play like? And usually the range would just go for value of a size of like half pot or so. If you had a jack, you're really not going to have a 7 unless you somehow have 10-7, I would say.
Well, Shin does decide to check after a while, and now Becker with a decision. Do I feel as though there's something to be gained here from betting, or is that just inviting trouble in some capacity?
Yeah, Becker has a real decision here. He can definitely value bet his hand. He doesn't have to, given there's already a pretty good amount of chips in the middle, and with the stack distribution at the final table, he might just opt to check.
See what you got.
King high.
No good.
We do get the check on the river.
Mine?
And Jeremy Becker on an absolute heater right now at this final table. I said it at the start of the show. He might be short, but if he gets some chips, this is going to be a problem. And the problem has now truly arrived.
You passed.
As he's sitting on 3.9 million and is the closest rival to
Took some
Shin
guts
here.
raising that one too.
It's a big swing here if you look at
hottest
things.
poker player
I
in
mean,
Las Vegas is
Shin could have
blind.
just won that,
Yeah, this last
By shoving
72
pre-flop.
hours.
and that would have given him 5 big blinds. Instead, he lost
Honestly,
like
I thought
9
Barry
big
was coming
blinds in the
again.
hand, and now Becker's
No,
up
we
to
don't
4
need no
million.
I thought we
Barry
were
on
going to
that one.
revisit.
We don't
That
need
hand
no
might
Barry
come
on
back
that.
Mr. Greenstein.
to us in the
Give him
future.
Yep.
Barry.
He
He's
took
getting
one
away.
off.
He doesn't have the discipline.
Barry would have hurt.
Rate 275.
Nice hand.
Thanks.
My fiance says I'm doing a great job on the stream.
Oh, good.
Marco.
As long as
Yeah.
she's
Oh, we
having
got a
fun,
pyro
I'm
shot at the
totally
end.
cool.
He doesn't
That's
have the
great.
discipline.
She might not know much about poker, but she's enjoying us.
That's great. Shout out to Tristan's fiance for tuning in. Shout out to everyone tuning in, by the way. Let us know where you tuned in from. Let us know if you're enjoying our coverage And while you do that, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Venetian Poker Live channel, brand new. Just hit 2,000 subscribers.
So bad on the river.
If you want to join us there,
Well, if it was
that
a
would be
blackjack.
awesome.
Yeah, if you haven't been to the Venetian
make
Poker
sense.
Room now,
Oh.
it's in the Grand
Suited
Canal
blackjack.
Shops.
Maybe-
it is
maybe because it's
unbelievable. They
suited,
have
I
their
should call
whole
it.
Yeah.
section of poker. It's a huge
Against that guy?
room.
And I hit it. I'm gonna say he was suited.
It's just awesome. It's a really great place to
Give him the king
play
and queen
poker,
for
and what they're doing with the live stream and everything, it's awesome. I think it's unbelievable.
Hey, good come.
Yeah, we're
King
stoked
3-3.
to be able to work with Venetian to put on these live streams. And it is even more exciting that we
Try
can
to.
balance between tournaments and cash games. Of course, JRB and Brian Oken have been hosting their 100-200 game. And that's coming up again soon. Saturday night, we're back to cash games. Make sure to tune in for that as well. We'll start at 6 p.m. Pacific time.
You know, Becker's kind of in the
240.
driver's seat here, even though he's 2 of 6 and the chip leader 2 to his left. He has flexibility now. He's got momentum, and that might get derailed.
Again, the two biggest stacks, both with the two best hands on this specific hand.
Now, remember we talked about the psychology between these guys, right? Banter, playfulness, what
Right.
have you. We just saw Shin call with King Queen, button versus big blind. Will Becker believe him here?
Yeah, this pot could get way out of hand if these guys
660.
get into some leveling war. And Shin is going to make it 660 to go. Alakani happy to let the other players do the battling so far. And Nedelku finds
1.3 million.
Ace King, and he makes it 1.3 million, saving Becker from potentially fighting back versus Shin. And again, a very fast raise.
Yeah, Becker would have been in a tough spot here. Hijack versus button
Pass.
with this exact hand,
All
but
in.
obviously he's happy to see these two go to work with pay jumps on the line.
All right, here we go.
Ace king.
Okay.
Ace king.
Ace King versus Ace
Can you lower
King.
it?
Hearts versus diamonds. This will likely be a chop, but still, there's 4 million in the middle. Let's
Okay.
see if the flop
I
brings us
guess
any
my
sort of
queens
sweat.
were in good shape.
You need hearts. Or king flush. King high flush.
You said I need hearts?
Yes.
You need hearts.
No, you need hearts.
I need diamonds.
For king high flush.
Nedelku rooting for Shin
Okay,
to
no.
make,
Window
hearts,
card
no
is
diamonds.
black for sure.
make a king high
Oh.
flush.
Okay.
Ace King.
Dude, we chopped
Excuse
them
me,
up.
Ace Queen
Nice
10 9 will
That hit
make
you?
sure this results in a chop.
Thanks
would've-
God you don't
Becker
have
would have
ace,
fucked you.
tripled
ace
up.
queen.
Yeah, I mean that would have been interesting to see how it played out. Would Becker just fold and
did you
stay
have
out of
queen what?
danger, which is probably the likeliest route? But
No,
he had a hand
I had
that
ace.
could really do anything. Call,
I had 2 pairs.
4-bet bluff, but he probably would have just folded.
Yeah.
Better
there.
not be.
You just gotta ride the wave, I guess.
But you had ace 10 of spades? Is that the story you're telling us?
Buddy, you would have got screwed. There'd be steam coming out your ears right now.
Not a chance.
The one thing that's interesting here, too, is the fact
He
that
saved you.
No,
Becker got to see
you would have lost versus me.
what
Queen
Shin is
10?
3-betting with, which is
It
was
doesn't
kind of
matter if I
important
have the worst hand.
information.
Maybe I get you to fold by the river, huh?
I mean, Becker is saying he would have called there. I mean, he's alluding to that. I'm not sure he would have done that, but
Man, I would have done it. I need a little steam walk.
or maybe he
after
would
that
have
one.
jammed. He's saying, I doubt he's not jamming there. Let me take that off the plate. That's definitely not. It's probably a call or fold situation for him. But yeah, I think he'd be a little more passive in that spot. Look at the stack distribution. I mean, we got Becker sitting on 4 million, the chip leader on 7. He's not really trying to find ways to play
275.
against the chip leader.
275, right?
Nedelku just going to attack Modi's big blind.
You're a great actor.
Huh?
You're a great actor. I believed you for about a half a second.
I had ace 10.
Yeah, of course.
You're saying I wouldn't have folded?
You had spades?
Queen 10,
Yeah,
right?
you're at your offsuit. Then you're offsuit.
Ace 10.
Ace 10? Wow.
I mean, at worst,
maybe it's
you,
been
at
both.
worst you click it and I stick it in your eye, and then you lose 1 point. So he saved you. I'm right. You gotta stop lying, man.
About what?
Because you're just like, oh, you would have got me. There's no chance.
Good bit of banter there between Shin and Becker. We'll try to listen on these guys as much as we can. I want to give a shout out here to Brett in the chat. He says, great job, boys. Back in Salt Lake now, but I was eliminated by Jeremy. Love the Venetian. I'll be back. Brett, thank you so much. Hope to see you on a future stream final table, perhaps. Teddy says, chilling in Alberta, playing online, and slow smoking some brisket. Man, send it up.
What a life.
That sounds terrific. Watching poker, making some food. Cameron, watching from Florida, enjoying the stream. That's your hood.
That's my hood. South Florida, baby. Shout out 561.
Always good to hear where everyone's tuned in from. Appreciate you all for hanging out as Nedelku picks up ace-king suited this time. Seeing our share of interesting holdings pass through here, and Shin again trying to just be aggressive.
Just got those chips.
Easy fold. I told him I play ace king plus.
You could be getting slow rolled, buddy. Just not this time.
I told him ace king plus, okay?
He did say that.
It's very fair, very fair.
It's always interesting to see
Look, there's been too many
the
ace
pony
kings out
show put on by poker players at the table. From 3-betting queen 4 off to now showing the ace king suited. Like, I
strong
got
ace
it, I
king
got
player.
it.
I
I'm not
was
messing
Relieved to
around.
chop.
Always show the ace. You always got to show the ace.
What's that noise? The shuffler?
240.
This tournament had 3 starting flights. Day 1, A, B, and
Something
C.
wrong with it, or-
Day 2 was yesterday on Tuesday, and this is our final table for people asking me in the
It's been
chat
doing that the
how
whole
many
time?
days this tournament was.
I've been
Remco,
too
don't
focused,
forget to
I
tell them
guess.
about
Nice.
this dealer in the box.
Oh, yeah. That's a great call out there. Tony, who's in the box right now dealing, finished 25th in this tournament. That's just insane.
25th, sick run, and now he's dealing the final table, probably licking his wounds.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You mother.
He's probably facing someone that busted him. That's actually really a real possibility here.
But he's got the best seat in the house to the action.
Absolutely. Staff here at Venetian doing a terrific job. Tony in the box, as well as all the floor staff, just running a really, really tight ship here. Whether you're into some cash games or tournaments, always something going on.
No ace king.
That's tilting.
Ace-10 in the muck. Becker getting out of the way here.
Yeah, interesting spot for Becker. Obviously, Shin's just raising a ton, and Moti is not going to be too strong with his flatting range, but he does just decide to exit, which kind of makes sense given the stack distribution like I've mentioned. Shin with a great candidate to start bluffing. You got king high, you got 3, 4, 5. You have 3 to a straight. I mean, 3 to a straight and 3 to a flush. So I would expect a bet here by Shin as one of the hands we want to start bluffing with.
Bet 220.
Shin's going to bet 220, hoping that Modi will not have connected with this board. But with just ace high end position,
No, it's too much.
It's a little ambitious of a call, in my opinion, with the ace-7 of hearts. There's not many turn cards that you're going to see that are really going to help you navigate. If you had something like ace-7 of spades, I think it makes sense. But Shin gets there, so a lot easier of a hand for him to play, even though he's out of position.
king on the turn. Gin card for Shin, who will probably give Modi some credit for some jack-type holdings. Maybe he can charge a flush draw again here on the turn.
Yeah, very, very well said. Modi's going to have some pairs, 6s, 7s, 8s potentially, right? We see him flat calling a lot of his range. And now Shin can comfortably bet his king. He has a range advantage still. Modi shouldn't really have a king unless it's like king queen of clubs,
Nice
king
hand.
10 of
Easy game.
clubs.
It is when you don't shove on me.
Nice king.
And with that shin, with another easy pickup there. So far, Becker off to the best start, up 2.2 million since the beginning of this final table.
Not
And
yet.
Adelku up 1 million in chips. Alakani, the tightest player, along with Pi. Both players with the VPIP below 10% here, as we're 23 hands into this final table. These guys just waiting for their spot, and understandably so, because you just want to find some cards here, and neither of them have found anything yet.
Yeah, and look at Tim's stack of only 1 million at 120K big blind. Who just paid the blinds.
Oh, you get it?
Ace.
Becker almost mucked his cards off the table. Always impressive.
This is a really tweener here with the queen 4 off. Given that you're the shortest stack, given you have a queen and you only have 8 big blinds in the small blind, I'm not really certain what the right play here is, although I think an all-in is fine, or a fold could even be okay.
All in.
And he's going to jam
see what we
queen
got.
4 off.
That's going to get through.
Yeah, Shin with 8-6 is going to fold. What are we calling with there if we're Shin with the shove of shy of 10 big blinds?
Okay, great question. So any suited king, any suited ace, any pair, any offsuit Broadway,
Well done.
like
That was
king
nicely
10-0,
checked.
queen
You're very cold,
10-0,
and then, like,
any
lukewarm
suited
now. Maybe
kind
room
of 9-10 suited or better.
Don't
Even-
let
even
that boy
9-10
get hot,
suited is
let
a
me
call.
tell you.
Oh yeah, just because they're
Yeah,
going to be
he's been, like,
shoving
bagging
hands like
quickly
that, like
in all
queen
these
X off,
tournaments.
king X off.
coming
So
in
10-8
with,
suited
20
is
strikes.
getting a really good price there to run it out, even against like an offsuit ace or something. So I would say like king 5 off or better
Right.
in the offsuit range.
It's always important to study
Good luck.
your ranges, make sure you know what to do, because those spots in tournaments will end up making or costing you a lot of chips. And Shivach, who goes by Modi, committing the majority of his chips here with ace-jack, and that's going to get it done here. Alakani with a pretty looking 9-8 suited, but not for this type of spot.
I like the shove. I mean, you guys are all kind of bottom of the rung here. You got a really good hand. You don't want to let anyone see a flop like a hand like 8-9 here. So I like the shove with just, what is that, 14 bigs, 15 bigs or so.
These players have battled their way through a field of 452
No, I'm the
entries.
button. You were just a big one.
Yeah, you're right.
You can beat the button if you want.
Big money on the line right
don't
now.
know.
This is where it matters.
Yeah, the strategies to think about for the shortest stacks are, one, just pick up a damn hand. Like, that's always helps. But just to avoid risk and wait. The middling stacks kind of under the same boat, and then the big stacks get to just apply all the pressure.
Well, for the second
Oh, yeah.
hand
2 in a
running,
row.
Shavat's going to find
You got
something.
somewhere to
And
be?
look at that.
Respectfully, we're going to change his name.
So
to
this
Mr.
is where I
All-In.
don't like a shove.
already
In the
did that.
last hand, I
we had
kind of
one
prefer to
yesterday, so
shove.
he's gone. We
But
need a new
me,
Mr.
I
All-In,
think
right?
that you want to just raise some of your best hands to let someone maybe like this hand
Right.
shove in over you. Now, when he had fewer chips the last hand, it was a little bit different. But now when
Right.
he's around 18 bigs,
He covers me, right?
I think you want to play a
Right.
different strategy of raising the best of your hands and the worst of your hands rather than just an all-in range.
Not sure whether Alakani is Hollywooding a little bit here or actually interested in the fives. But as Tristan said, he would for sure be a lot more interested in the fives if he was facing a min raise. He just wants to play a hand.
You would
This-
have covered that, huh?
I don't think so.
Yes, you would.
Ace 10, easy fold.
Pocket pair.
Ah,
She's very
Much
reluctant
easier.
to let it go.
much easier.
It's like sending your kid off to
Like your
college.
sixes.
Yeah, but my sixes was like, he was 8 big blinds, and I put 2 big blinds.
No stack shaming.
Just like your pocket sixes. 3 back. Wow.
Yeah, it's just, you know, think about poker.
60.
If you're all in,
my
you reduce
ex
an option
lucky
of
hand.
your opponent. They can only fold or
So
call.
you called with your 6x.
It's all about, it's always about options
And
here
you
in
fold
this game.
sevens.
So that's how
I
you
don't have
use your
the-
chips.
You know, the guy with the kahuna, with the kangaroo ball is not here. I should borrow it from him.
Yes.
Little reminder
240.
here that the Ultimate Stack series is still ongoing here at Venetian. Today, multiple events going on. The $200 bounty is on day 1 right now. Tomorrow, day 1B of the $800 Ultimate Stack kicks off. Lots of poker left to be played in this Ultimate Stack series. But the one you're really going to want to play is the $1,600 event, day 1A, starting on Saturday. That final table will also be streamed here on Venetian Poker Live, so keep an eye out for that one. $750K guaranteed for that event, $1,600
You're
buy-in,
blind.
multiple
Yeah,
starting
because
days,
of him.
and we are streaming the
All
final
done.
table. And here comes Alakhani with pocket jacks, just pulling the trigger. He's got 1.3 million left. He's just gonna make this very easy. And you know, for all the aggression Shin has tried to apply here,
Alright,
he's
you
not
each got
been
one.
getting very lucky.
everybody got one
Players
too.
have been finding hands to fight back
What
with.
is it?
Everybody
Yeah,
gets one.
but when
too.
you look at the
If you got
stats,
one, you
right,
got
he's
one.
VPIP
You got one.
42% of hands, so it's kind of
I just,
how the game
spoke
goes.
about
But you're
it.
absolutely right. A lot of times when
one
you're the
time.
chip leader, you could just comfortably
But
raise
you
and take
have
it,
to
but he
call
has
the all.
What
run
is
into
that
some
right
big hands too.
You're going to see it on this
Thought I had
stream.
another third.
Of course.
But you know, he doesn't mind. He's
almost
kept
there,
his
yeah,
chip
you're gonna see other-
advantage.
all the
He's
other
still
hands.
got
Yeah,
7
we're gonna see all the hands.
million.
It wasn't
It's
a,
up there right now.
oh, is it?
No, there's no charge.
1 o'clock.
That'd be
Sorry.
pretty funny if it was.
You'll see it, you'll see it.
Nice Venetian hat there. The Venetian
Yeah.
Not
Poker grand
against you.
opening hat. That's
I
pretty
wouldn't
cool.
bluff you.
There's
You
something
could
about
afford to call.
a new white hat
I don't know
that
who
just
could.
looks
I
super
couldn't- I
clean.
couldn't bluff nobody, I think.
As we see
But
the
I'm a
black version
confident-
here on Tim. Hidden, but shown.
Pi, who's been waiting for a hand. Ace-8 suited under the gun. Is that enough here?
Typically, it's a qualifier here. Yeah, I think the blinds have gone up too, it looks like, if the graphics are right. So this might be
Oh,
first
yeah.
hand of 150. So yeah, we're going to be all in here. You might see some people risk like 800,000 for the slight chance there's 2 all-ins behind you and you save 3 big blinds. But we see, I think, most of it go in.
1.2 million.
Also important to note here that Pi, being under the gun, has to put in 300,000 on the next hand. So he needs all the chips he can get right now.
Yeah, you're pretty happy to look at a suited ace here, and it's one that's as good as ace-8 suited. You don't mind it. You just really want it to fold around to the big blind, who is the one range that can call you with maybe something worse than you have. As we see, it does fold to the big blind.
Becker with some theatrics. Pi finally gets to win one.
It's got to feel good.
Yeah, yeah, and he's got to surrender 300K right now. Big blind ante makes the game
I'll
move
say it for him.
faster,
Thank you.
but the pain is a lot worse when it's your turn to post.
Just staying afloat. That's how you got to look at this. Just hang on for dear life until that favorable situation presents itself.
Shin with a favorable look in ace-10 of hearts. How much, when
240.
you're under the gun with this kind of hand, do you have to be aware of the stack sizes around
300.
you and sort of take into account, what do I do when X player shoves?
Oops.
Yeah, I mean, that's everything right now. You need to know the stack sizes, and you need to have a strategy against every individual player, because every player is going to play back at you differently. So yeah, Shin might want to look at a hand like here and say, okay, I'm going to raise it and fold against some, and I'm happy to get it all in against others. I even think with this, with the lead now and the leap of the blind, everyone only has 20 big blinds or less except Shin. So the options are kind of increasing for Shin's aggression.
What we want to see as spectators is Shin just absolutely stepping on the gas, because the bigger this gap gets, the harder it becomes for players to fight back. And Pi now, like I said, having chips invested here, going to make the call and see a flop. And look at this, ace, queen, 3, all clubs. But mind you, 2 pair for Pi and top pair for Shin. This could be fireworks.
Definitely, definitely. This is tough. It's probably a range bet for Shin where he's just going to come with a small size. And now
150.
Pi is definitely in this hand class of, I need to protect my bottom 2 pair here. There's a lot of turn cards I don't want to see. So we probably see mostly raising from the big blind.
All in.
And Pi is just going to check raise all in, and look at
Check out,
Shin's
please.
eyes, looking up at the sky immediately, knowing that Pi has been very tight. But Shin must be thinking there's more in his range than 2 pair combos. It could be even pair and flush draw type stuff. He could be far ahead at this point. Very interesting.
Yeah, this
Oh,
is very
lovely
difficult here with ace-10 of hearts.
It's a lovely spot.
I don't want to talk over the chip leader here, but just in terms of strategy, you know Tim's not going to have ace-queen. You know he's not going to have pocket queens. You know he's probably not going to have pocket aces, although that would be a good candidate to slow play.
170?
There's only one combo of pocket aces he could have, the ace of spades, ace of diamonds, right? So that means his range is going to consist of maybe ace-3, maybe queen-3, but a lot of club combinations, just the king of clubs potentially.
5,000.
And the call is made.
Oh,
We got 3.1 million in the middle. Pi the favorite here to double up as Shin looks for an ace
Good
or a
luck,
10
yeah, but
to reduce this field down to its final 5. Pi has been patient, and the question now is, will he get rewarded? He doesn't want to see the turn. It's
was
just too much right now, and the 6 of diamonds on the turn adds some outs here for Shin. The board pairs 6s. Pi will also be eliminated. Big river card coming right now. It's the 8 of clubs, 4 clubs on board, and Pi's 2 pair is going to survive here, and Shin gets knocked down to 5.5 million.
Tough. That's just a tough one as a chip leader. There, you know, when I talk about strategies and raising in these spots, it's like you don't love min raising into short stacks because they really are incentivized to see a flop and realize equity because of how short they are. They need to kind of gamble, quote unquote, to gain chips. But typically, in the chip leader's position there, he could have leveraged his stack different ways, whether it's a bigger than min raise open or whether it's just a jam. I'm not saying that's the appropriate strategy or the best strategy. Obviously, I think how he played it is fine. Ace-10 suit is a really good hand there. But you don't want short stacks to
Right.
see flops,
Yep.
basically.
So with Shin now at 5.5 million, especially Pi and Becker sitting awfully close to him can really hurt him right now, which will probably reduce his aggression level quite a bit. And Modi thinking, let me just try this out with a pair of 3s.
It's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a tough one.
That's very tough.
Because do you put in 700K ready to commit the other 1.3 million, or were you just raising with the hopes to win the pot and face no resistance?
Now, how does Shin read into this? Because Modi has been relatively tight. He has been shoving more than he has been raising. So perhaps, and he does move all in. Shin jamming with ace-jack of hearts. Is that a bottom of the range type shove there from Shin? Oh, wow. That is something I did not expect to see. And Modi, with a pair of 3s, is just going to take the stand and say, no more. Let's just see 5 and get this thing over with.
It's a classic.
4.2 million in the middle. Classic coin flip. 3s versus ace-jack. Why not?
Huge pot. This is
my
a
God.
huge pot here.
Wow. Did not see that coming. Pay jump on the line here. 4.2 million at stake.
Oh.
And there is the jack. king and the deuce along with it here. One diamond here for Modi. Let's not forget about that. But he is looking for a 3 and a 3 only. The
For
3
sure
clubs
it's diamond.
has been folded. So basically just one out here.
Ah,
5 of spades on the turn.
no set.
Makes this a pure one-outer if Modi wants to survive. Can he find a miracle, or are we down to 5?
Ooh,
It's the
close
deuce
right.
of spades on the river. That looked very close,
Again.
but Shivaj will be our 6th place finisher, and Shin rakes in a massive pot to get up to 7.6 million.
Thank you.
The man who goes by
Congratulations to
Modi
you.
For us.
collecting
Yeah.
$19,800, and
We
he'll be
played
on his
in
way
day
out
one,
the door
remember?
as all players
Did, yeah.
receive
Good.
a little
one,
pay
day
jump up to
two.
26,000, some extra leg room, and things are back to the way they were with Shin way out in front.
All right.
All right, here's a look at those updated chip counts. Abbas Alakhani happily receiving those pay jumps, sitting on 12 big blinds. Narcissus Hidalgo has been very active, still hovering around 17 bigs, and both Becker and Pai have had their own double ups, with Shin still leading the way. That was unexpected.
Yeah, very unexpected. I think Moti, who had maybe
I
the
heard.
least experience of the final table from what our research concluded. I think he's going to learn a lot from this final table because he had a couple hands where he V-pipped but took a more passive route. And I think that was probably a chance for him
stay
to just
close to-
avoid playing a hand, given that there's so many other hands within your range that you can play. The small pairs really lose all their value in this kind of
Go to win
format.
after.
So I would have just preferred to see a fold with
I
two
think we
threes
have till 6:45.
instead of putting in any money
And
to
it's
be
the
at
last day.
risk. And obviously there with the chip leader with
On
ace
purpose?
jack suited, it's a
He did that
pretty
on purpose?
pretty strong holding against an open.
Pai now finally with room to play.
No way.
Gonna do some raising of his own.
Wish I'd watched that happen.
So this is the worst hand as an ace. You're going to see the button open here. You could even see that be folded with this scenario, but Ed has nothing to do but shove. You have
Right.
a small pair. You're against someone who can hopefully raise fold on the button. And it looks like he's loading the clip.
He announces an all-in shove with pocket fours. And Pai will be like, ah, that's a little rich. A little rich for me.
What are you, 3-0? Lot of respect.
Yeah, you just know what your raise folding range there is. You know that this guy's range is going to be pretty tight. You are taking the fact that you have a
You're
blocker
probably
there,
calling my
but
one.
But yeah, there's some
Okay. So you're
intricacies
probably
when you
calling
really
mile
get
when
down to
people just like-
dissecting what the button raising range looks like there.
Not sure what I'm gonna do. It's
Probably even
easier
more
to go
profitable
all
to play
in
an
to
ace-2
call all in.
offsuit,
That is
depending
true.
on how the big blind's
Right.
going to play back at you.
You want to be the person that puts the last bet.
Exactly. So that's
Definitely good recognition there from Alakhani, knowing that he can't
So
pass
that's
up on that
a-
spot.
I'll go 300.
He'll just end up getting too short here.
no.
And Becker now raising it up to 300.
With this stack distribution, I really think we should see Shin like pounce, pounce, pounce with everyone under
Let's
20
see what we're gonna do with your.
and now playing
I mean,
five-handed.
with a bunch
So
of
I expect to
professionals.
see
What am I doing
more
here? What are you doing here?
Have
in
you
the
looked at
next
your hand yet?
30 minutes or so.
No.
Especially as we get short.
What-
That was some pretty good speech play.
No speech play, just. I didn't think you looked.
I had dirty diaper, 2-3.
I had
See it
you.
on the stream.
Thanks.
3-2.
Shout out Rigby.
I was willing to go to war with my hand, I'll say that.
No, I know you are. You go to war a lot, and you win.
Well, I wait for good hands, and then I go
Exactly.
to war.
That's a smart.
About half of that statement.
So
is
for
true.
all your work, you're the winner.
This guy is 50%.
Definitely a candidate here to raise the suited connector on the cutoff.
Raise.
I'm probably one of the poker players who likes to just pile in a lot of money in spots where it's probably not the best. So if Shin had a hand here like King 8 suited or King 6 suited, I think those hands probably just raise typically.
1-8,
But if you
You gotta
jam,
be, like,
you might
the
get
quickest
hands like
European
Ace 9
player
off
I've
to
ever
fold
played with.
because they
I love it.
basically have to call or
Very
fold
quick.
and run
No
it.
time wasting.
I can play like
So this is
24
the problem as a
tables
chip
from
leader.
my
If you're just going to
side.
raise
Outside.
fold like good equity hands, like this hand has 40% equity. If
Right.
you would have just jammed it,
24 table at a time.
you force
huh?
someone to
When I
basically wake
was
up with a
younger.
top
Now
5 to 7%
12.
of hand. Whereas when
Because I
they get to
play
raise you, they can play
higher stakes.
closer to 12 to 15% of hands.
This final table down to 5 players, still anyone's game, because one double up will basically get you the chip lead right now, or at least very close to it, even though Shin's ahead. He's
You got like
basically
three
a
now?
coin flip away from letting
You
go
have like
of
3
that.
now? A little under?
Once again, if you're catching us on YouTube right now, don't forget to hit the like
1-5
button,
here.
subscribe to our channel,
2-5
and
to 8.
please join us on
Well,
Venetian Poker Live. Brand new channel, just hit 2,000 subscribers. We're streaming live twice a week. We got tournament final tables and cash games every single week. And we got a 100, 200 game coming up on Saturday night. And then next week, we have another final table here from this DeepStack Showdown series. It'll be 750K guaranteed. And, you know, Shin and Becker will probably be back at the final table. You know, they are such regulars.
Oh,
Here we go.
yeah.
So look,
Here we
Wow.
go.
everything I've been
Yes.
talking about today,
All right, let's see.
it finally happens.
Right.
Now, this hand class, an offsuit ace, isn't typically the hand class you want to do it with because when
Yeah,
you
but
get
it's
called,
here.
it's kind of disastrous.
Right.
You'd
do.
rather have
Okay.
suited high cards,
Just like you do.
but
And maybe you already
Hey,
look.
I know what
we
I
do
mean.
see the
Already.
poetry in motion.
Yep. Shin
You
just
see.
sick of getting re-raised and is just going to pull the trigger himself, telling the people, well, how about you figure out if you want to call for your tournament life?
So the first one
Yeah,
that I
he
looked
may
at
be
was
just sick
king
of it.
of, wow.
He's like, all right, look, you all
In the
have
second
20 or
round,
less.
4.
I'm just going to start shoving so you can't keep playing back at me.
I mean, you never
And
know. I wanted
maybe some of
another
that
good,
earlier
uh,
information
but
from
ace up.
Nedelku,
You
3-betting
played
him
like
like
an
queen
ace.
4 off, or people
was
playing a
7.
little more aggressively has gotten to
7
him,
for
and
Kevin.
he knows.
7, okay. King 7, it's a decision.
Or maybe he's heard me screaming about jam, jam, jam.
Well, it's funny, too, because the closer the other stacks are together, the more profitable it probably is for Shin to keep shoving.
You hit 3
In a
points.
sense, yes, you'd really like
yeah.
a real short
Okay,
stack
no,
who
three.
Just over
is like
30, yeah.
leveraging the other people's position because this guy's going to bust soon.
Right.
But yeah, it does help. It does help because he's never going to risk more than the second most.
Action folds around to pie in the small blind. King 6 off.
This is typically a candidate to raise as a bluff, quote unquote bluff. It's typically the best hand. You have a high card. You don't really want to limp here, but I guess against the chip leader, a limp is fine. Try to realize some equity. Now, I don't know if Shin's going to take a hand like this, an offsuit king, just to the grave and say, hey, I'm going to run it or raise. I think these hands kind of are aggressive, typically.
Do you live in Vegas?
Yep.
Beautiful
Like,
shot here
for
of
about 2
Shin's
years.
glasses, seeing the
It's-
reflection
It's okay?
of the
Yeah, I
chips
love
and
it.
cards. And
Yeah.
Shin just come with the jam. As I said, he's just going to put
come
that
2
pressure
times a
on.
year, so-
Every single pot matters right now. And
What,
pie, of course,
WSOP?
December,
Has a pretty narrow
WSOP,
calling range
and
there.
this is the first time I came in March. Yeah.
Yeah, look, I love how Tim's playing, honestly. I know
You ever
he's
been
kind of
to,
ran into it a couple
Hard Rock
times
in
blind on
Florida?
Yeah, I was
blind,
in
but
December.
when the chip leader has position
before Bahamas.
and chips,
Yeah, that's
you're
good.
just going to have to be,
Bahamas was.
I don't want to say any
No
cuss
good?
words on stream,
No
but
good
you
for
just
me.
got to take it sometimes.
field
You
was
just got to take
very,
it.
very bad.
And
Unbelievable bad.
discipline,
You came
patience.
to win after Bahamas or no?
No, I stayed in Bahamas because I won a package and I had like 20 nights.
Yeah.
What's the
Next year.
rating of this stream? Are we
Come to win.
PG? Are we
Yeah, I know,
PG-13?
I
Can
was-
we be R?
So maybe they'll change it.
I
mean,
know, Remco.
We're playing
I
poker.
think
We're in a
it's
casino,
60,
so
I think,
there's
when
definitely
the
some
overlay.
leniency here.
When
Oh, in the
But
beginning,
a,
2 years ago?
a, a string of
50
F-bombs might get us in
50
trouble,
million
but
guarantee or something.
please
Oh,
speak your
40.
mind.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for the
I'm gonna
permission,
ask for
please.
what?
All I need in life.
Next time. you should
And
do
look
it.
at this.
Definitely
the Shin
this one
train
is
has
not gonna
truly
happen,
left the
right?
station.
It's already too late. Let's see.
Great candidate to shove here, especially against a big blind who might not be calling appropriately. But Ed has a hand that
Good, but
you're supposed to
not
flick
good
it in
enough.
here. He's the shortest
call.
stack. He has an ace blind on blind. He only has about
Yeah.
13 big blinds or so. 14 big blinds. It's a little uncomfortable, but it's a qualifier.
Very close.
Yes.
I need my coin to flip it.
Alicani perhaps
I'm gonna get my
50-50
coin.
in his head, but doesn't want to go to showdown here.
I fold the ace.
Why?
Let me get my coin. But for the coin flip.
Shin's got to feel
Honestly,
good after
the
picking up a
fifth
couple.
check, I was like, he's gonna fold, and after the sixth
shoves.
check, I'm like, he's gonna call, and after the seventh check, I'm like, he might call, but I think he's gonna fold. And after the ninth check, I'm like, he's definitely gonna fold. You know? Like, it was just like,
I'm telling you, it was very close.
for sure.
Because your range is very wide.
And you
Yeah.
fold the ace. What?
I mean,
Don't worry, I'll bust these guys for you.
thank you.
So look,
No,
Ed's
that,
basically
don't
saying,
look
"Hey,
over.
Tristan,
Look there.
I know what you're saying.
Yep.
I mean, you're,
This
you're
guy
all
has a
just in my
wide
line of
range. I
sight,
have
you
an
know?
ace, but
Okay.
look, my ace was kind of crappy.
You know that phrase, ducks in a row?
I'm just gonna pass on this, and I think
You
it
have your
makes
ducks
sense.
on a row.
Well, I mean, it's he's Romanian. He might not know that one.
Just to know, I'm not folding an ace.
Here we go.
And Pi with the suited ace. Reaching for chips here. He's going to come in for a raise to 325.
So bluffing potential here with the queen jack. Oh, I mean, it could do anything, honestly. You could fold, you could call, you could raise as a semi-bluff. You could jam, but I don't really think this hand wants a jam. I think it served better as like 850.
No.
We do see it hit the muck.
It's on you.
Okay.
And credit to Ed last hand, sorry.
Yeah.
Just the A7 offsuit. I know I said it's a candidate. You should typically
Call.
be calling there, but it is a little
call?
awkward of a spot. And if you are trying to climb the ladder,
Interesting.
I think it's okay to pass on some of those marginal spots.
Well, Alicani is going to call from the small line with King Jack,
Okay,
hoping to
you
flop
got me.
something. Nadelku
Let's
getting
gamble.
the invite.
Yes, of course.
And we're now three ways with $1 million in the middle. This is very significant for all three players. And it comes King 8-5, 3 spades. Keep an eye on Nadelku
On
here.
first.
He's got the inside
Okay.
straight draw and spades as Ed Alicani picks up top pair.
Yeah, typically I wouldn't really want to play the 9-7 offsuit here from the big blind multi-way. Especially, I'd rather just let other people battle. This hand's kind of loose, but he's gotten one of the best equity flops now that we see the hands. But he's got the straight draw and the flush draw. Will he get to a turn?
Right. Now, I'm a little surprised that Pi is betting here. Is he betting because he doesn't have much equity here?
Exactly. He's got the range advantage. He doesn't have really any equity. He blocks ace-king. Nobody's supposed to have ace-king here, pocket kings, whatever. So he's just taking all the money in the middle. But it is a little egregious with certain
Right.
holdings in this spot to go for a bet.
And this, in a strange way,
I can fold.
might price Nadelku out, and he does just that. So Ed has announced raise, hasn't even put the amount in, and Nadelku snap
Said raise,
folds
it's okay.
his 9-7,
Okay, sorry.
and a big raise hitting the table here. And Pi, of course, didn't mean it that way. He just wanted to take a little stab.
Didn't
Now-
even flip for that one.
Sort of play this game with me here, Tristan, for a second. If we're in Nadelku's shoes and we get this kind of flop, are we ever leading small here to ensure that a situation like this might not occur?
I don't think so. It's just too hard to play that hand out of position into a tighter range and another tighter range that you have position on. So it's just a really uncomfortable spot.
All right.
Sorry, go ahead.
Uncomfortable spot right now is for Timothy Pi, down to 11 big blinds after that failed continuation bet. Abbas Alicani goes by Ed, sitting pretty here on just shy of 3 million chips. Go ahead.
Yeah, you could just see, like, we could see the cards. So it's easy. We saw how he had 50% equity or whatever, high 40s. But typically there, if someone bets, you're really not loving your hand. Sure, you have a gut shot and a flush draw, but you don't know how valuable that is facing a bet typically. So that's why I say you usually just want to avoid playing a flop there. You want to have suited hands. You want to have higher connected hands. Even an 8-9 offsuit is a little questionable to defend there from the big blind multi-way at a final table.
Well, Pi with the chance to get some back potentially here. And he's going to stack them up and put them in the middle, leaving himself with a few small chips behind.
Yeah, what else can you do?
Let's see.
Got 11 bigs. You got 2 8s. Really good hand. Just hopefully you don't run into a better hand.
2 quick
Easy
folds
fold.
here. Action now on Becker. He's got ace-6 off. Gets out of the way as well.
Nice one.
If you're just tuning in, final table of the 1100 Ultimate Stack, 500K guaranteed prize pool in this event. Slight overlay on the prize pool, so if you are a player, if you are coming to Vegas, make sure you come to Venetian, to the poker room. They have so many tournaments on offer. There's something running every single day. They provide a terrific experience for players, and this series is far from over as we are live streaming the Ultimate Stack final table coming up next week. Day 1A of that event kicks off on Saturday, so if you want to be on the stream, you better start battling in our scheduled events for the live stream.
This is one of those hands.
Yep, Jack 10 suited,
I'm all in.
and he moves all in.
I mean, just like I said, I'll keep preaching it. Everyone's under 20. We got all the chips. We can get them to fold their equity. We can get them to fold pretty good hands. But yeah, when you get called, someone's going to have ace-king, someone's going to have queens. You're going to have decent equity with the the Jack 10 suited. And here we see Becker with a big pair. What's he going to do?
Jeremy Becker on 2.6 million. Little glance around the table potentially here, but these stacks are all running really close. He's on 17 bigs, Nadelko on 15, Pi on 13, and Alkhani on 19. That is very important information.
2.3.
You have 2-3?
This is
2.3.
really
What do you
close.
got?
This is really close. This might fall into the calling category because Shin is going to be shoving some high card, low card suited stuff like ace-4 suited, ace-3 suited, ace-5 suited. So you don't want him to turn over Jack 10 suited. You want to have 70-30 here, but Becker might say, hey, this is enough hand. We got to run it.
How much does it matter to Becker that Shin is probably the toughest opponent at this table, and perhaps there's easier spots along the way here?
It could be easier spots, but this could be a very profitable spot he's
Right.
presented with here. So I think that's really what's weighing on his mind. 7s you don't question as much. 6s you wouldn't give a thought to. I think 8s and 9s is when you start saying, okay, I got to put some money in.
And there it is. Becker makes the call. We're going to have our biggest flip
Felt like a
of the day.
Hollywood to me. Hollywood?
Not really. It's a fair fight.
Fair
18.
fight. Jack 10 of diamonds
Pocket.
versus pocket 8s.
Let's gamble, Kit.
This is a huge gamble. Tournament
think,
defining,
I'm
if I may say so. Let us
You're
know in the
in
chat which side you're on.
Hijack.
Shin versus Becker for all the chips right now. If Shin wins this thing,
the god
he might be all in for the next 10 hands to try and apply some pressure
8-3-3, 2
God of
diamonds.
focus.
on
For the
other
chip
stack.
lead, baby.
It is. It is. And here comes the flop. Becker looking for those 8s to hold up. Queen, 4-4, 1 diamond. 2 backdoor options available, but it would be easiest for
Maybe a
Shin
king.
to just hit a jack or a 10.
Eh.
If Shin loses this, it'll be Becker
Whoa.
with the lead. And the 5 of diamonds all of a sudden
All right, I
gives Shin
called
a
it
flush
last
draw.
time.
14
9
outs
of
here.
spades.
32% equity to bust Becker and take an
Thank you.
enormous chip lead.
I
Isn't
wish
going to
you'd
be
luck
there
as
for
well,
Shin.
But I'm hoping 9 of spades.
It's not there. It's the deuce of clubs. And Jeremy Becker
6,
doubles into the chip
6,
lead
50,
after calling it off with pocket 8s.
95 in it.
Just slightly takes a chip lead. Shin's not all that phased. He still has plenty to work with, but yeah, that was a huge coin flip that could have nearly ended the tournament.
Definitely dynamic shift here with Becker now in the lead. Shin can no longer try to push people around the way that he was.
Is this the chip you used to call? Give me another one.
You want to trade
Yeah,
that?
give me the other one.
Sorry.
No, it probably wasn't.
Seeing some Becker fans in the chat. Shin's got some people on his side as well. Always good to see.
It was
By
too
the
fair
way,
of a fight, man. You just need to have kings, and you're just
if you're enjoying the coverage, please
Bob's coming.
Good night.
7, 8, 9 every time.
make sure to
Good
smash that
night.
like button,
Too
subscribe to
fair
our
of a
channel.
fight. The 8 of diamonds too.
The Young Un Shin, yeah, just won a tournament this weekend in
Right.
Vegas. Another $1,100 where he chopped for 131,000. Now makes another final table of an 1,100. Great for him. He's got 500K in live earnings. Started playing in 2016. Plays online, WSOP circuit stuff, other bracelet events.
Action on Adelku here, who finds Ace
How
King
much
for
for
the
that?
third time at this
Nice.
final table.
1-5.
We've only been going for 40
The blue
hands.
chips are yours, right?
Action. It's been action.
Absolutely. 15 big blinds here for the Romanian. And he's going to put his large chips forward.
1.1 million.
Becker with a glance here. Oh, and he finds queens! The most classic of coin flips about to unfold here as Jeremy Becker picks up 2 queens.
1.675.
The hand after grabbing
Oh,
the
I have
chip
one.
lead.
And this is sick if you're Becker because you don't expect Nedelku to have this big of a hand. You would have said, hey, if Nedelku
in.
has ace king or something, he's just going to raise. But when he shoves, you think he's going to be in a weaker category of hand. So Becker's going to be a little disappointed to see he's flipping.
Pie tossing
Good luck.
one of the kings that Nedelku will end up needing. And we've got a
It's a classic.
massive
Another
coin
card.
flip. And again,
Why would I stop winning them now?
basically 5 million chips in the middle. Nedelku versus Becker.
Okay, what is it? Two.
Doesn't
You don't
matter.
want to tell me? Alright, good luck.
Nedelku's tournament life on the line. Are we about to be down to the final 4, or will we see Shin retake the lead
Who
by
you rooting for, be
virtue
honest?
of Nedelku
sorry?
doubling up?
Who are you
Everything is
rooting
possible
for?
here.
I can't say that.
Let's see the
He's a
flop here.
professional
First 3.
player, you know.
Are we going to get a sweat? Jack,
far you haven't
9,
lost
3,
any of
all
your
clubs.
all-in.
Why would
Becker
you say
with
that
the
right now?
queen of clubs,
I'm 3-0.
eliminating some
I'm
outs.
3-0 in the tournament, you're right.
Ace and king wouldn't,
Why
club
stop
wouldn't
now?
be good.
Huge flop for Jeremy here.
2 chances for Nedelku left to survive. He's got 4
There we
outs.
go.
Turn card is the 7 of spades.
Just don't
9.
let it be Barry. If he's going to do it, give him the king.
Becker
Just not Barry.
doesn't want to see an ace. The king would also hurt exactly the same way. River card
Oh.
is the
Oh.
king
Once
of diamonds.
Once you said that, I knew you were cooked.
And
He's
the
a blind-
I'm
Delku
blaming you.
with the massive
blaming
double
you.
up.
He said
Becker
no
gets what
Barry.
he sort of asked for.
Check one.
He did say, give him the
200.
king if you're going to do it. And
Wow.
sure enough,
One of them.
You-
Yes, for no berry, he got no berry.
that one's on you. That might cost you a jump for saying I have a
I didn't say nothing. I just I said you won all your all in.
you don't say
It
that
was the
on the
time
flop.
to lose, right?
718,
Wow.
1.9.
chips are flying.
1-1.
I mean, we're just passing this chip lead around. I don't mind it. I like it.
Million.
Only king of diamond.
No. King of hearts also. What?
Yeah.
And the chips go round and round.
192.
And many eight.
2.270.
Yeah, 2.27.
It's 1-1 between us, so it's
Nice hand.
fair.
You know, I really thought you were gonna lose until he said no berry, and I'm like, all right, it's the king's coming.
I always think I'm gonna lose, and I thought I was gonna win.
No, I really thought you were gonna win until you said just no berry, and I'm like, all right, king's coming, buddy.
And then when he said I haven't lost, I go, I don't know if I'm gonna win.
So you had to try
And
to
then
try to
the turn,
reverse it, yeah.
I felt good again.
And then you doubled down, and then it was too much.
I'm steaming.
You should. Did it to yourself. Dude, never anti-sweat the shorter stack, man. Come on.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Who did I anti-sweat?
No, I'm just saying, like, you know, when he's all in, just
Oh, here's the thing. He's the most respectful player so far that I see, Jerry.
Me?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
I think it's C2 actually, but it's close.
Huh?
I think it's C2. He's very respectful. He always shows.
Well,
us
we
his-
can't be 1A, 1B.
Oh, yeah, that's true. He always shows us his ace king. I appreciate that.
Raise 300,000.
They're both.
Nadelku
you
riding
guys
that
are
high.
I showed already.
Yeah, this is a little
They're
out of
both
line,
class.
but we've seen him do
And
some
I
out of
told you.
line
I'm
stuff.
serious. The only hands
You know,
we've
5-3
shown are
high
ace king and the sixes.
in first
Dude, this guy loves
position.
ace king, man.
But I guess maybe the advantage
Hold
here
on,
is
the
you're raising
Romanian
to
is-
Oh my
maybe
God, I thought I
someone
was
who's
gonna
a
win,
little
bro.
more
I don't
passive
love
in the
this
big
guy.
blind.
That's what I thought on diamond turn. I'm like, just do it to him.
Over there.
I thought I
But he
was
seems
gonna-
interested
I'm blaming my man over there.
before the cards have hit the reader, at least.
Always a good sweat for
3-1
us
now.
as well when
Let's
that happens.
Call.
Against the lucky
Gamble.
one.
Call has been
Only
made.
it's gamble, not this.
Going to
Did
see
I
a flop.
like party here?
825 in the middle.
Let's put him in.
And it's Jack 6 of hearts. Let's go. If we see some hearts, we will see some blood. Instead, we get 9-8 deuce.
How much was my all-in with the ace?
Quite uninspiring.
You had like 2.7. You know, it's 2.695.
Nadelku going to stab here.
What was his just now?
I don't remember. Maybe like 2.3.
0.2.
Oh, so I'm up. I'm up like 300.
Well,
Okay.
best case scenario here for 5-3 suited.
Well,
Both players miss the flop. You can win it with a C-bet. Confidence grows when you win hands like that.
Exactly. Playing that rush. Nadelku up to 5.4 million.
And look, sure, I'm a studied poker player and coach, but there is some X factor stuff when it comes to this game that I'm still trying to wrap my head around after all these years. And I think that was one of those spots where
Right.
you're just
Yeah.
feeling it, you're into it, you look at a hand, your intuition says go, you go, and it works out.
I always say this when we have players such as Chino Reem at the table, you know. Chino Reem is not out there solving and studying and running all the numbers day after day, but he's got that card sense, he's got that feel, and he's been
I bet
super
300.
successful with that approach.
300,000.
And that's sort of what you alluded to. There's a little more to poker than just knowing the numbers.
Yeah, it's a magical game. I don't know if part of it is delusion or manifestation
Right.
or being one with the poker gods or what have you. But yeah, maybe someone will figure it out one day, and maybe Chino has figured it out.
Oh, he figured it out a long time ago.
Yeah, quite the character and quite the card player.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, maybe he just burns a candle at home every day before he goes to the poker room. Maybe there's
much you got
a
now?
ritual there. Who knows?
like
He
2,
has shifted
3,
his
5,
mission
3,
in the
5.
last couple years to
3,
being
5,
full
5.
of gratitude.
Right.
And we've seen a shift in his personality. I've known that guy for a
Yeah,
long time.
and a lot
And I
more.
have some old Chino stories that maybe will come out at another time.
Yeah, I've seen and heard my fair share as well.
Yeah,
Of course,
you know,
right?
You got more than me.
Hang around in this industry long enough, you'll
the break's
hear
15 minutes.
many things
Yeah.
from many characters. But yeah, shout out to Chino. I do like the guy. He is a buddy.
And he's doing really well at our mixed game series that is ongoing still at the PokerGo studio. Tonight's final table action will be streamed live on our channels as well. The
And-
25K 10 game.
Sick. I mean, those tournaments have been unreal, and I've seen the viewership for the mixed games
Oh, yeah.
kind of shoot through the roof for PokerGo, and I think that really shows the state of poker now. People love Hold'em, people love Pot Limit Omaha, and people love getting more than 4 cards.
Absolutely. Right now, Nadelku trying to decide if these two cards are worthy of perhaps a bit of a contest.
Shout out to Nadelku. I mean, he is creative. He is giving thought to aggression in many different spots.
No, I
think
might as
people
well see it too. Can I see it?
Sorry?
Can I take a look as well?
Of course.
Thank you.
You want to count?
No. Just, you don't got to break it down.
That's 8.
You don't got to do all this.
Okay.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Jeremy Becker doing something that I appreciate when poker players can simply just count stacks on their own. It's not that difficult.
There is something there too to get reactions
Right.
from your opponents when you ask for chips and stuff like that.
Oh, here we go. And Becker must have gotten the reaction he was looking for, or perhaps
You can stand up.
it was part of some theatrics with the strong hand. We just haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, you're going to see offsuit aces come into the shoving range here. You're going to see
36,
small
25.
pairs. You're going to see some suited broadways
cover me.
potentially. Those
Oh my God.
those get to call in the big
What
blind as well because they dominate a lot of the
No
big
leg-
blind buttons
no leg
raising
room.
range. But
Don't
you
don't
could
hit
see
yourself
some like
around.
ace 4 off, ace 5
Let me
off
see.
here. You could also see
All right,
like
here
king
you go.
6 suited or something.
It's okay. I fold.
Oh,
I know.
Oh, I
Alicante
can relax.
You
lets
got
it go.
one through.
No, I had a really big hand.
and I guess
Good
the reader
try.
didn't catch this one.
That was no bluff, sir.
All right.
I
Well,
give
Well-
my word.
I guess I'll have to ask Jeremy after the final table what he had in that spot. Either way, he chips up.
He loves pocket eights. Pocket eights?
Ace
I'm guessing
queen.
you
it
would have
looks
folded
like.
Oh, there it
those
is.
earlier.
I was going to say an ace king,
think it's
ace
a good
queen
call.
sounds about right.
Gamble it up. Try to win.
I do fold.
You would have folded.
And you're flipping. Sometimes
thought
you're
I might be
sometimes
winning.
yeah, sometimes you're way ahead. But sometimes you're just flipping.
Yeah.
So stacks now look like 30, 30, 30,
And you know, if
10,
shit goes south, there's a big tournament down the
14?
street.
which one win?
Yeah.
2200. Fine.
no clear
Yeah,
chip
day
leader
two's
anymore.
tomorrow,
We got
so
neck and neck.
today's our last shot. to
You
get
know,
in.
I was
From
supposed-
Narcissus.
Hopefully we don't play it, though.
Nadelku.
Hopefully we're
Were you
here all
thinking of
day.
that before you just
Shen
called
in
off?
third-
You're like,
in third
worst
place.
case scenario, I guess
Jeremy.
I'll
I
try
was
that.
supposed to
Bring it
leave
up
on
the rear.
Monday, and then I got myself involved, and I had no idea that it's gonna be a
3-day tournament?
Yeah.
3 days tournament. That final table is gonna be Tuesday. But this is a good problem to have, right?
I would agree.
Definitely a good problem to have.
Nadelku actually the second most
great.
seasoned pro at the final table with almost 1.5 million in live earnings. He's been playing since 2012, and his biggest live cash is 134,000, a fourth in a big field Eureka poker tournament
Big.
over in Europe, where he got fourth
500,000.
in 1100 for 134,000 for fourth.
Fourth, that's crazy.
Holy cow!
Are these getting raced off?
Poker is a wild game. And, you know,
think so.
I know it's March, but summer right around the corner. Venetian putting on an incredible slate of events again. You're going to have many chances to play at one of these final tables. We're going on a quick little break. We'll be back in about 14 minutes. Don't go anywhere. This final table still has lots more action to deliver. We'll see you in a few.
Without a clock and time extensions and all of that in play at these final tables, it's good. You know, there's not too much tanking. I know we've had some longer hands, but understandably so given those decisions. But you know, things are moving.
Seeing lots of love for LaPlante, for She in the chat. Victor has some fans. So does Sandberg. Stavia raising it up to 225 here. Gets over to Sandberg in the big blind with queen 3 of clubs. Might we peel? Yes, we will. Sandberg is going to make the call, see a flop, hoping for something with a bit of connectivity to get his chips in the middle. And we flop a flush. Holy moly. 8-6-7. Sandberg flops a queen high flush. Stavia, let it be known, can still do one better with the 9 of clubs.
Yeah, Sandberg here just, I mean, try and contain your excitement inside. Can already feel the double up coming. Obviously, you know, you can be overflushed, yes, but unlikely so.
Sandberg peels from the big blind, flops the goods, and now, of course, looking to get the money in. And there we go. Stavia makes it very easy. A bet and a call, and Evan Sandberg's tournament life is on the line. You see it in the top left-hand corner of your screen. 1 out. Just 1 out. Sandberg has to dodge, so he is very comfortable here, looking for a double up.
I feel like we're due for a straight flush. We've done enough of these streams now. I feel like we're due for a straight flush, right? I mean,
If you have to go out, might as well be doing 1 outer.
Yeah.
All right, Sandberg, be careful what you wish for. Turn and river still to come. Is Stavia going to find the miracle? Turn card is the 8 of spades. So far, so good. Mustafia just needs to fade that one card that would make this room erupt. River card. It's a 9 of clubs!
My God.
Oh my God! Sandberg said it himself. If I go out, it might as well be against the straight flush.
He kind of willed it into existence.
I mean, this is his own fault.
We're gonna see it in an hour.
Oh shit, that is so dirty.
800, I call.
It's funny how the players who have already
know when I'm rough
beaten the Squid Game for this round continue to win pots.
Yeah, so Trevor's got to win one. Rips is looking to win one. Brian Oaken's looking to win one. And Roy is still looking to
I might
win.
have folded them.
Those are the 4 players that are left. And then, as you mentioned, Ace and JRB have won it twice.
7,000.
Oh, wow. This is going to be very tricky because he could just think, you know, he's just fighting back. Squid Game's on. Here we go.
Magic number.
But he has an actual hand, does Trevor. So buckle up here.
JRB with trips with the ace kicker, Trevor with top pair, and the ace kicker also. But Trevor needs to win one
Where are you from?
to get out of the Squid Game. JRB, meanwhile,
China or
going for value.
In California. Urban.
10-5.
10,500 is the bet from JRB. Action back on Trevor.
JRB could easily have a 4 here. I mean, he was in from the straddle position. I mean, he could have anything.
You could also have spades.
I mean, he could have, maybe he has a worse 8, you know, he's just getting after it with one of those. Trevor's in there, though.
Oh! 8 on the river, and Trevor makes a full house. JRB quietly betting here, 5,000. And Trevor moves all in.
Waste little time in moving all in, which you can't feel good if you're JRB. Even though you got a full house, it's the underfull. You cannot feel good right now.
You know what I got. Oh, wow. I have too few chips to fold, though. That's painful river there, Trev. You caught that 8, huh? You caught that 8 on your boy.
Oh, wow.
All right, take it down, sir.
JRB
You'll never know.
finds a way out. Ace with a pair of 10s and backdoor spades. Charles finds a jack.
Who you did that on?
No,
No?
no. I got 120.
Oh, okay. Good enough. Good enough. No. Let me do whatever you want. I don't have much more.
Yeah.
JRB making the call here. Action back over to Charles.
Are you goading me?
No.
All right.
I was doing that to Simon, though.
He calls as well. Down to 3 ways here.
It's a big
Charles
game.
and JRB sharing top pair. JRB obviously with the best kicker with
Very-
that queen
very
over
juicy.
the 3 of Charles. And then,
Today you're talking about?
well, this could be fun. Another jack hits the turn. Charles makes trips. JRB makes trips. JRB with the queen kicker.
Let's play a
And
big
Ace is just coming at
Make
it.
it juicy for someone.
Here we go.
Do it blind? Do a blind flip? 100 each?
8K into
That's a little too rich.
15.5.
Now, is Ace ensuring here that Charles is going to lose a lot more money?
With your boys?
Yeah.
Yeah, look at this, because JRB now just calling. I can't imagine Charles is ever folding here, right?
Those are your friends, Rips?
Yeah, you know Jay,
Jay's
right?
a good buddy of mine.
Yeah, he's sick, dude.
And this is a bomb pot,
He's a
remember.
good guy.
We go way back. I know the guy with the aloha.
What's up?
Yeah, buddy,
The guy
I've
with the
never seen
aloha?
those
Look
guys
at
in my
this.
life, but I'm ready to bet
25,000 from
Actually,
King
he was
Charles.
playing with me in the 25,000. In the main event, we're
Probably
playing the same
signaled
table.
to Ace that
He's like, dude, you are the
he needs
most.
to get up out of this pot.
He's like, and then since we
hasn't
stayed in
folded
touch,
yet.
and
Hey, Roy, I know
He
it's
made
an
it-
important conversation, but hey,
Wait,
might be a big
shut up.
pot here.
Wait, shut up.
What do you mean shut
Right,
up? There's
right.
Roy, look at the hand.
Massive pot. Roy, more interested in the table talk. Action on
They need to
ace.
make these like flags or something.
They see that.
It's just
awkward
dude,
color.
it's like this looks the exact same. Like if you mix that up, like, you don't have.
I think it's safe to say we're going
I
to
thought it was just me.
set a new high because
Anyway, Rick,
the current high for the
making
largest
deep-
pot,
get a deep run in the main
60,800.
cheering for him and like.
I can't imagine JRB's going anywhere. Now, let's see what Ace does, of course. He's been in the tank here for a little while.
He's a good guy.
He's a great guy.
Surprised he ain't got.
And this is a bomb pot. Everyone dealt it and went straight to the flop. Ace has played extremely well here all night, but if he ends up putting more chips in here, it could just erase all of the winnings that he's had up until this point. All right, he does get out of the way.
Oh, here we go. JRB with the instant shove. This is massive.
It's too small to fold. You have to call.
Yeah, he called.
Oh, and Charles makes the call.
Hold on, just
Biggest pot
What do you guys
in
do?
Venetian Poker Live history unfolding right now.
twice.
Running it twice with just a river card to come.
Go ahead.
All
Yeah,
Charles
go ahead.
needs is a 3.
I think.
River, 6 of hearts. One more river to come. It's the queen of spades, and JRB is going to scoop a $115,000 pot
He had a jack.
Wow.
I didn't have you beat.
with queen jack.
Nice hand, Robert.
I was in last place the whole time.
600.
And we flop.
Yeah, that was
we
good.
go,
I almost
we go
did
flop.
what JRB did.
And Fabrice yells out, wait, you want to run it twice? Came 10 rag. I had aces. The other guy had kings. He had 10s. And flopped 10 rag. He's like, you want to run it twice from here?
Oh my god.
What are you doing? That's
Checking was it.
Did he end up
said
scooping?
stop, stop.
He scooped, right?
Yeah.
When he
Yeah,
went
he
to the
scooped.
mouth, Marcus gave me the one.
I'll never forget that.
Yeah.
He was the one who wanted to
Royce,
run
what
it
you
once.
playing?
He flopped that set of 10s. So he's like, wait, stop. You want to run it twice?
That's crazy.
Fabrice.
Royski.
Oh, please let me win this pot.
600 from Oaken here. Roy with the 3-bet to 2,000. Call made. 10-10-9.
Talking about
2
tens,
clubs.
that's
Roy
spooky.
with the flush draw.
Always happens. You talk about a
Seems
hand
like
and
it
it shows
always
up. Always happens.
How about when you have cards and you're playing and it's always the next board was just perfect for
Yeah.
your hand from the last hand.
Dude, I had ace 10 last hand. Would have been lovely.
Oaken calling it 1,500 with 4s. Let's see if Roy wants to continue to apply pressure here. Let's go check. Trying to hit a club here. Instead
Can I
we
get
see
2
a
more
queen.
sugar fruits, please? Yes, thank you. And you can just keep them closed. And then it's
Ooh,
straws
interesting
all
here
over.
for
Thank you.
Roy. He knows the checking
Two
is
sugar
not going
fruits
to
Red Bull.
win
You
him
can
the
just
pot,
keep 'em
so
sealed. This one's.
if he wants to have a chance
Thank you so
here,
much.
he's going to need to bet it.
Yeah, you know, if he thinks Oaken is in there with a hand like an 8-9, for example, then come firing at it, trying to get him to fold. It looks like he's going to do just that.
Oh, you know what? I would like the coffee, please. 5,000. Get a cappuccino with 1 sugar and 1 brown sugar. 5,000.
5,000 is the bet here.
If I dump this hand,
Let me see.
I have a pair. If I dump this hand and he's bluffing me.
Oh man, he's gonna.
Christ, this is. Oh my god.
5K from Roy.
Royski on the stream. I never thought I'd see the day.
Yeah.
Gotta love this bet.
Oh, Roy.
Sounds like Roy's the type of guy to kind of rub it in if he gets a bluff
I love
through.
this dynamic.
Roy.
What do you got? 6s.
What's the difference? Huh?
No difference.
Got that 5K chip in hand. There it is.
Oh, there it is. Nice call, Brian Oken.
The Royski. Good call. Oh my God, called so late.
That is a sick call from
If he would have
Oken.
won that, dude, you just saved the game right there. He would have been on a tear after that.
Okay, here's my thing.
My mom, when she drinks wine, she has ice in it all the time.
I don't mind the idea of having a colder glass of wine. My problem is you got to drink it so fast before the ice melts, or otherwise it's going to water down your wine.
Yeah, no, I would just put like 1 or 2 ice cubes,
We
just
can
to
dance, though.
quickly chill it down. Probably
All right.
also why I like sangria so much.
You do want to do.
Here we go.
Let's go.
Here we go.
Oh, baby!
Hand?
Of course, we
No
get
pair.
the dance.
No pair.
We got
No
a big
pair.
one here.
It's king.
Out of
Oh, you're
nowhere.
good. Yeah, you're very good.
Rips
Oh, we
is
got
tired of
Rips in the
folding.
mix.
Yeah. Good luck.
King Charles
Thank
gets
you.
him to pull the trigger, making
I
the
think
call
so,
here
too.
on
I
the
have a good
jam.
feeling.
We got a new biggest pot, 60,800.
Get there.
Did they say once or twice?
I think we're going twice.
47 minutes to play his first hand.
Oh,
Got it-
yeah,
got-
yeah, yeah.
Got it in.
Yeah,
got it in with a 3-outer.
10 king.
That's a good call there, yeah. That's a Rips roll. He just he couldn't write the ball, you know?
Yeah.
2 times signaled from Charles.
I know.
Rips hoping to get lucky and chop this thing.
There it is.
Oh, Jack in the middle. King right behind it.
There it
Came too
was.
quick.
No diamonds alive here.
10?
Maybe
Queen
good.
gives us some outs here. Rivers the 3 of diamonds, and Rips already 1 jack short now.
30 something, I think.
Always feels good to win the first one.
Oh, it really does. Ace 9-4. No help for Rips, who's looking for a jack. River card 7 of spades, and Charles is going to win this thing.
It's 10, 20.
Heads
up,
too.
right? We won. Throw some spades.
16K in the middle.
I'll tell you what, you have 2 queens, and
Oh my God.
you got to play out of position against 3 players. It is not too much fun.
7-4, 6-2 diamonds. Charles, top pair open-ended.
Just a
Trev-
very, very tricky
Defense,
spot
defense.
here.
Yeah.
Queens. Look at this board.
I mean, Rips has almost no choice but to try and thin the field with how loose these guys have been playing.
And Charles here's got top pair, and he's open-ended. Trevor's got top pair, really good kicker, and backdoor clubs.
34.
34,000 is the razor. Welcome back to Venetian Poker Live. You're looking at the chip counts of the UltimateStack final table. 500K guaranteed prize pool, $90,000 up top, and these 5 contenders are battling it out. The stacks aren't too deep, but there's still plenty of room to make some moves. Timothy Pye is our short stack. We'll look for him to be all in rather soon as we now play 100K, 200K with a 200K big blind ante. Thank you all so much for joining us. Please find us on Venetian Poker Live on YouTube as well. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and, hit the notification bell if you want to stay in the know. We have a lot of stuff coming, a lot more high-stakes cash games, a lot more tournament final tables, lots of action still to come from Venetian. Shout out to everyone who's in the chat with us. Let us know where you're watching from. Let us know who you're rooting for. It's been a lot of fun already, and we got a lot more action still to come. My name is Remco Rinkema, Tristan Wade, alongside me in the booth to provide some expert analysis as the action here is on Nedelku. He's got 7-6 suited, and we've seen him be very active. Narcis Nedelku. He's got 1.4 million in career earnings from Bucharest, Romania. Raising up to 450.
Should have rubbed my card some more.
He's going to pick up the first hand here after the break. As you can see, Nedelku, Shin, and Becker quite a ways ahead of the other 2. Alakani has been playing a little conservative, but it's been working out for him, which is nice. Pye has had
like 4.
quite the roller coaster.
Yeah, 2-7, 3-7, 4-125.
Gotcha. Thank you.
I don't know how it's not 4-150. I mean, I have 4 blue chips, and only one of us didn't win the race.
I don't even know how you're still here.
And somehow it was me. Right? We should all be gone. Should have won already.
Nedelku, King 10 off. And he's just going to keep on doing his thing. This man has experience. He's got some online success as well.
Yeah, he seems like the type of player who's just gonna, if he gets
Might
a
be
chip
time to
lead,
gamble.
he's not going to
Good luck.
take it lightly.
And also, fun to note,
Thank you, though.
in 2023, he won this exact tournament for 128,000.
Wow.
Now, this tournament, of course, happens multiple times a year, so he won a different edition, but still, he definitely knows how to win here at Venetian.
Man,
I
you
seen
guys
a card.
didn't show
Lucky
me.
king.
You guys didn't show me like 15% of disrespect.
What happened?
When I had the chips, everyone was just like, I'm all in, I'm all in. And then now the opens, just every open's getting through.
See, that's exactly what I said.
Don't be jealous.
Shin was
I
getting
am
no
jealous.
respect
It's
when he
Card
was raising.
distribution, bro.
Yeah, well, no, the problem is he was one of those people.
The pay jumps are higher now. That's
Yeah. If only we could see what they were. Just
Yeah, it is tough.
Tristan and I had a chance to
in the show only
sample
is king,
some
that's why.
terrific food here at
Survey.
Venetian
Yeah,
during the
there's a
break.
feed here.
They brought
There's
us a
never
nice
any
breakfast.
Everything's
We
amazing.
got
in
eggs,
here, but you
sausage,
get
little
payout
side of
somewhere in there.
veggies,
Yeah, yeah.
and a hash
Yeah,
brown.
cool.
Pretty
I mean,
For the future.
what more
Yeah.
does a person really want?
Yeah, one of those
Hope they got
machines,
that.
could program
And a
it,
fruit
you know,
bowl.
this
And a
is
fruit bowl.
great.
Yeah, I haven't even started on the fruit bowl. Let us know in the chat whether
Maybe
you have
just
some
make
good
one of
snacks.
the TV.
Yeah.
Gotta have some
TV
good snacks.
places.
Very important. Pie, by the
But
way.
other than that, 10
on the
out of
short
10.
stack. Ace deuce suited.
Happy to look down at a suited
luck.
ace here with 6.5 bigs on the cutoff.
1 million.
Got fold equity and potentially the best hand.
Oh,
Only one more player to get through.
Very nice cards, but.
Oh my God.
Ooh.
I'm not
I
exactly
guess
sure
I'm-
what he
we
folded. I
should
saw the
just jam
6 of
on his
clubs.
blind every time. Call it
So it
that.
could have been a hand like 6-4 of clubs or something. But, oh, 7-6 of clubs. You know, that's maybe good enough to call a 5.5, 6 big blind shove there. I mean, there's really, there's some strategy of having these two stacks remain under 9, 8 bigs, but I think busting someone there and putting in $1 million could have been worth it.
Shout out to Dana Craven in the chat. Watching from Florida, rooting for Becker. Becker also Florida guy. Repping Tampa whenever he can. Always see him rocking the hat. Jason Martin in the Venetian chat was a little curious about our highlights. We did show you some cash game hands from last week during our break, but we are now back to live action. Alakani finds Jack 10 off on the button. He knows that the pressure is mounting on him as well.
450.
He's going to make it 450 here.
Comes with a raise in a spot where I think most people would just be all in or folding. So that's interesting. And I think it was interesting that we saw Shin fold King 10 offsuit on the cutoff. That's usually a hand that's good enough to raise. So this hand could have played out way differently in many different ways. Becker with 2 to
You made
a
a big
royal.
fold?
I think so.
You might have better discipline than me.
And Becker stands up ceremoniously. 3 bets
3-9-25.
enough to put Alakani all in.
I guess this is the time.
You know that.
If it is, good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
If it is, it's not.
And
Go
I
with the coin.
fully expect
Well, you got to say which
Ed
side
to
is
fold
which.
here with Jack 10
I know which
offsuit.
side.
And I fully expect
The head side's supposed to call.
that Becker
The
knew
donkey's
there was a
supposed to fold.
possibility
I should
that Ed would
change it.
raise fold here.
Yeah, donkey this time, right?
Whatever system you got to use.
There's only 2 heads.
Uh-oh.
Oh. What's
What
that?
is it?
Heads. Or no, what is that?
Pull
I
up
don't
this-
know. You tell us.
I think it's donkey.
Oh shit, it's the donkey.
Wait, aren't those the same sides?
No, you see?
I don't know.
Oh,
That's the head.
Okay,
Oh,
let's
gotcha.
play.
Let's worry
because
about this later, though. Would you like to continue in the hand?
yeah.
You call or not?
Go against the coin.
Take your time with this decision, but
Flip it again.
I think the coin decided he's going to call, but now he's going back on his
Oh boy. I'm
predetermined.
gonna regret folding this hand.
Oh.
I mean,
For
I shouldn't go to the coin. I should have just called. Go without the coin.
I had a big hand.
I fold an ace.
How big?
Show him one, Jeremy. Come on. Show
There
him.
is no big hand.
You guys are too good. I would love to show.
Yeah.
The chatter is increasing
you
here.
would if there was a good card to show.
Players
There is
probably
nothing.
I thought I was getting called. I had a really good hand.
happy to at least have 26K locked up.
Shouldn't go to the coin. I should have just called.
Friendly atmosphere is always
Okay.
nice at these final
I
tables.
like to play with you guys a lot.
The last two hands could have played out very differently in many alternative universes. We saw a suited ace hit the muck from the small blind to a button open. We saw King Jack suited take that, which would have hit the muck as well.
No decision.
Now it's
only-
time.
And now-
So make it easy.
Now you get the genuine good luck.
Make
for
it
me.
easy so that way I don't have to think about you're all in.
Ed's going to remove heartache for himself by just putting the money in here with ace-9 suited.
1,175,000.
Pie with 10-5 suited in the big blind, paying a large price from that big blind, but of course 10-5
I
suited
should have done that the
not
same
worth
thing
tangling
last.
with.
Sometimes it's easier to. You don't have to think about it. After. Jeremy said that I would have called.
I would have called if you went
Okay,
on.
that's good. Then it was a good fold.
Mm-hmm.
If you would have called. You know, sometimes you gotta swallow the ego.
Yeah.
Very true by Ed there. Sometimes you got to
trying to
swallow
practice
ego,
that.
especially in this game. If you have an ego, it's usually
It's
going to
hard.
bite you in the ass.
Woohoo!
Another
One more time. Ollie.
candidate here.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's probably one of the worst hands you
Now
could
you're
consider,
officially
but with
Mr.
8
All-In,
bigs,
like you were calling
yes,
the others.
most pairs like to operate this way.
That's 1.5.
I think I would probably do some
1.6,
folding of
75.
deuces, maybe threes, but fours I would consider.
Pie in the small blind. Really hurting for chips here.
Yeah, this might be an all-in confrontation between the two shortest stacks. I think it's pretty suitable. Ed could be shoving worse aces, maybe some broadways that you dominate, king 10 suited, queen 10 suited, jack 10 suited. Surprised to see a fold there, but understandable.
Still giving Alikani some credit here.
God bless America.
Nice hand. There you go.
God bless America, as Becker is doing his best sort of Tom Cruise-esque
Where did you
look
say
here
you
at
live
the
at?
table.
LA?
I live in Orange County, but I have a place here too,
In Henderson.
in Henderson. I just bought a house about a year ago, last May.
Nice.
Yeah. We love Las Vegas.
Who doesn't love Las Vegas? Come on.
I know. I moved here in 2018, and I don't see myself ever leaving.
Really?
Yeah, I don't see it.
Okay. Awesome.
Might spend some more time in Europe, though, just, you know, during the time that it's too hot here,
400.
if I
Ace to
can.
400.
But yeah, Vegas as a home base is just
Gotta
amazing.
show the man respect.
You got the mountains, you got pretty good weather. Sure, it gets a little hot sometimes. You got in and out where you want to be. You're right next to Cali. You got great biking.
Yeah, that's the thing I always tell people. Like, you know, whether you're into road biking or not, that's maybe a little bit more on the,
Gamble.
aggressive side. But the mountain biking here, man.
You want to win
That is
3 in a
just-
row, right?
No gamble, no future.
Oh, here we go. No gamble, no future announced. Let's see if the flop will spur some gambling, but we get to see ace-ace-5, which is probably a case again where Nadelko is just going to stab, which he's been successful with so far.
200.
200K is the bet, and is Alikani, you know, putting himself into more trouble than he should by calling pre?
Not necessarily. You have to call one big blind to win 6. You have a suited hand with a high card. So yeah, I like his play. This is where it gets a little dicey. I mean, typically you just fold here. This is a fundamental poker strategy when you have the range advantage, as Nedelku does. You just get to c-bet small on those heavy static textures and win the pot without any kind of resistance because your opponent has to have hit the flop. Queen 6 suited there. Queen 6 of hearts specifically with the ace of clubs, ace of hearts, 5 of clubs. You have 2 overcards and a backdoor flush draw. You block ace queen. In some worlds, you could do some min check raising as a bluff to combat that range bet that you're going to see people make. But typically folding is also fine.
This is the type of stuff that the top players study for, getting into the thick of it when it comes to payouts, when it comes to trying to win this tournament. The math becomes ever more important with the money on the line like this. Stack's also fairly shallow here. And Pi putting the majority of his chips in the middle here with 8-7 of hearts.
Don't blame him for this one. Although it is a little dicey, but having 6.5 bigs and a suited connector here, you just hope to get it through.
Right. And is the reasoning why he's doing it with this hand because against most hands, if they end up all in, he still has decent equity?
Yeah, basically.
Would you rather have 7-8 of hearts than ace deuce off?
That's a close one, Remco. That's a really
I'm trying to put
close
you to the test all day long.
I think I'd rather have a high card here
Right.
than the 7-8 suited because when you get called, you're probably in better shape on average with the ace.
Very, very close.
But, you know, this is interesting, right? Nedelku folded the 6-7 suited, which I think is a candidate. And then here we see another fold, which is still a candidate. I don't know. You know, these final tables are tough, and I'm no expert. You know, I try to be, but I'm not. I'm not sure what the book says here, but the book that we use is not it's not the Bible. It's not something that's exact. I think we're still trying to sort out the best way to think through how to navigate final tables.
And the reason I bring it up is because you are getting more action from dominated aces in that situation, but at the same time, to your point, it's also going to be a lot of king high and queen high situations where with ace deuce you would be a favorite. So interesting thing to think about, but it's fun to see Pi trying it here with 7-8 suited. And now we're back to the big hands. Alakani picks up ace king off just on 7 bigs. And here we go.
Good luck.
You didn't even flip the coin, huh?
Oh my God.
Right,
Oh,
let's see.
wow.
First one's really good.
Oh, not like this.
Sorry. I really didn't look until then.
Apologies from
Good
Becker
luck,
here.
though. I've been bad
What
with
the
this hand
fuck?
lately.
Ace king to ace.
Nice man.
It's never over.
I mean, come on,
I'm gonna
Jeremy.
go down with this.
This is about as good as it gets in a poker tournament. Aces versus ace king. I mean, sure, there's a couple worse hands, but
At least it was you.
Jeremy Becker was on Raging Tilt not too long ago
you.
when he got his aces cracked multiple times in one
It was
day.
nice playing with you guys.
Don't do all this. The board hasn't came
It's
yet.
pocket aces against
Stop.
ace king. Come on.
All right,
Look,
aces
queen.
well out in front.
No chances.
And we see deuce
Yeah,
5-6.
now you don't.
No, here we go. No chance.
okay, if he loses
Stop.
this, he can
Wait
be
till the
tilted.
There is no chances. What do we want to do? Just
If there's one thing I've learned, it's never over. Until it's literally 0%, it's never
at least
over.
we get both the straight.
Well,
2,
fortunate
3.
for Jeremy, 0% pretty often here after the turn.
Now
Okay.
it is.
Turn is the jack of
Nice
clubs,
play.
and it
Nice
is
play.
0%
Nice play.
for
Very nice play
Alakani.
with you.
Pleasure.
Ed
Very nice play.
should
collecting
call
a
it
nice
last time.
payout of $26,000,
Nice
and
play.
Jeremy
Yeah.
Becker gets a whole lot
That's
stronger. He now up to 6.2 million chips, and we are down to the final
Wait, was
4.
that it?
Ace
Good luck,
king, ace
everybody.
king.
Take care. It's good playing with you.
I mean,
God, I wasn't.
you look down at Ace King on the
Jeremy, did you use
button
my
with
trick
8
pool?
bigs, and you run into
Yeah,
ace.
I
know.
did.
I can't,
Yeah,
I
he
can't talk
fucking
about
did.
it.
Oh my god, dude. I knew I should have never
can't
told you.
say.
I knew I should have never told you my
Why are you
secret.
No,
exposing
I
your
didn't.
secret?
I didn't. I don't have one. I
Okay,
don't.
yeah, okay.
Small blind, big blind.
Shin, who started as the
That was
chip
sick.
leader.
Once you said the first one's good, and then you're like, he's
I like feel bad now that I
yeah,
looked
that you didn't
earlier.
No, but you didn't. That's fine. I mean,
Oh my God! Imagine that was Tim all in. I'd still be. How much is it?
It's on you.
Would you get tilted? You have 1-4 back, right?
These guys know each other
I
well.
would already know it was coming.
You can tell from
All
the way
right,
they're
here we
talking.
go.
What I was going to say is that the shift in
Buddy, you might
approach
get a
for
walk.
Shin is very interesting here.
Yep.
He was the chip leader for a long time. Now,
Actually, on second thought,
looking at some bigger stacks at the table. And
Nothing else to do here. You got a suited king. Any king's getting in here, really.
sign of respect. Someone.
Still water, please. Room temperature.
with every hand he wins, Becker starts talking more.
Funny how that works in this game.
If you're enjoying the
comes in
coverage
there
here
with 1.2,
of this
you're
final
last, right?
table, please smash that like
1.1.
I
button.
thought I was last, but
Yeah,
I
I
was
think
like,
it's
subscribe to
other
the
guys are
channel.
short, too.
1 to 75.
There's a link
It was
posted in the
either
Poco YouTube chat
1-2-5-5 or
to the
1-5-5-5.
Venetian Poker Live
I think it was
channel.
1-2-5-5.
1255.
Please make sure to subscribe to that new channel because we are trying to make some magic happen there. We're posting daily clips, shorts, highlights, compilations, all that good stuff. Venetian Poker Live launched just a couple of weeks ago, and we're proud to take this thing to the moon over the next couple of months. Action folds over to Pi, who gets a whole load of disappointment
Do you
here.
want some orange, by the way?
in the
Because you
small
don't have
blind.
any? Or are you good?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, I'm good.
What
Thank
if
you.
you want to bet 425 or something?
I'll just say it.
All right, you want?
Thank you, though.
I'm not like trolling.
No. I know how much you value the orange chips, and I appreciate
No,
that.
yeah, I'd rather have all orange, but if you don't have any, I'll
There's no
gladly
troll.
give you change.
No more special
It
water.
wasn't like a needle. You,
No.
you have the big chips.
And if it was, no. I'm just
It
kidding.
wasn't.
Chip leader trying to give away some of his chips
No worries, bro.
in exchange for the higher denomination.
400.
Raise 400.
You can just sort of see the confidence oozing out of Becker. He's been in this spot so many times, and now that he has chips, he wants to close this out. You know, foot on the gas.
Can I just see how much you have?
Completely.
Thank you.
Tough spot here for Shin. He's got a candidate that, I mean, mostly folds, but with an ace in your hand, if you wanted to run a 3-bet bluff, you could, but
You're 4, right?
Yeah.
guess he's just going to stay
Around
out the
6
way,
million?
which is typically the best
Yeah, a little over.
answer.
Should be 6,550 with that, I think.
The two big stacks here potentially
Heads up.
head-to-head here, and Nadeku makes the call to do just that. 1.1 million in the middle. If someone as much as breathes at this pot, it's going to be bigger than what Pi has left in front of him. To give this some additional context here. And we have an interesting flop. Queen 10 deuce, open-ended for Nadeku. Becker picks up a pair of 10s. We might see multiple streets back here.
Yeah, very interesting with this 6 big blind stack here. These guys probably don't want to be super aggressive, but this is one of those hands that might get money in both ways. I was interested to see if Becker was going to c-bet this. The range advantage and what Nadeku would go with, but we see a little more passive play as expected.
So Nadeku check calls 300K. Turn card is the 9 of diamonds. Gen for Nadeku. You can see the equities on your screen. 93% to win this thing. Becker now has to, of course, include King Jack in Nadeku's range, but there's a whole lot more going on here. Now, is the safe route perhaps the best route here?
Yeah, I don't think you're going to see Jeremy put more money in here unless he somehow improves.
725.
I'm surprised at this. I eat my words immediately.
You want to think about
And
it for a second?
No.
Did you hear Becker say,
I let you think on the river.
you want to think about it for a second here, buddy? But no, Nedelku with the snap
I need a
call
jack, huh?
beats him in the pot, and he calls out the king jack immediately. River is the jack of spades.
Wow.
And now we're looking at a chop pot. Incredible run out here to save Becker.
Yeah, this is kind of a crazy hand. I know it's going to end up in a chop, but this is a pendulum swinging hand that Becker kind of took a misstep, in my opinion, for betting the turn, and he knew immediately as soon as he got snapped, oh shit, I'm in trouble. And he gets bailed out by the river here, the only river that would have saved him.
975.
975.
I have a king.
You have?
Yeah.
And Jeremy
so
Becker
lucky.
called the cards
lucky.
exactly.
Hey, that's a good river card right there.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't really understand his bet on the turn there. You know, your opponent has a lot of Queen X. You're not getting 2 streets from worse. I'm a little perplexed to see how that hand plays out, but he did have a draw still to a straight, so
I knew you had a king. I would have went all in.
lucky, lucky.
Hmm? I know. So.
Nice hand.
Oh, yeah.
And if I'm in Jeremy's spot, I mean, sure, he called out the
That's fair
holding
for
on the
that king
turn,
early.
but
No.
River on me, no?
It's not fair.
there's some tells you
even
might
close, yeah.
consider moving
Feels
forward
fair.
Right.
to digest there.
The king was fair for the ace on the river.
Wow.
If we're in a Delco, are we ever check
That could have
raising?
been bad news, that hand.
Yeah,
for me.
I think check raising the flop, check raising the turn are both considerations because Jeremy should be way stronger to bet twice in that spot than he actually was.
All right, Shin here with the monster, the best drawing hand in poker, as I always like to say. Ace King of Spades on the button.
You love to look down at huge hands in spots where it's really wide range. Unless you're Ed with Ace King on the button and then you run into aces.
Raise 500 plus.
Raise to 500K here. We're playing 100, 200, and the Delku's 5s end up in the muck. Queen Jack suited here for Becker. Let's see if he wants to come with anything here.
Wow, like 5s snap into the muck. Interesting to see that. Queen Jack suited here. Typically you like to just call, see a flop, very high equity, you dominate some of the buttons openings. Maybe has some thoughts of all in.
Jeremy Becker with 2 very live cards, but he'd be quite a ways behind. Does some mathematics and does put enough in here to put Shin all in.
Oh, yeah. Pocket.
Yeah, hold on. It might not be all in. How much you have?
7.
You're so annoying, dude.
Shin referring to the fact that Becker could have just set all in, then it would be binding no matter what.
Doing, bro?
And now,
Penalty.
Just flick the 3 in.
I might save the 3, honestly.
Enough with this.
You snapped.
Enough with this.
What do you have?
I don't think you saw your hand.
Yeah, I didn't see your hand. That's what I said, don't you?
All right, we'll check it. We'll check what the flop is.
all right, 300K left behind.
I'll tell you what. I'll check.
Check.
Becker
All in.
still
I got to call him.
thinking there's ways he can escape, but with a gut shot to the
Ace
nuts,
king and.
he is going to make the call, and he's
Oh.
finding out he's very live on top
Danger.
of that straight draw.
All right, let's see what happens. 300.
Shin's
very hard,
tournament
isn't it?
life on the line here after being the chip leader for most of this final table.
I can't believe that wasn't 4. I thought
I
for sure that was
pocket
enough
5.
for 4. Yeah, I was just like, I thought you put enough for 4. I was just like, 3.7 was sneaky.
All right, Becker looking for some help here to send Shin to the rail. Shin would be happy to just
That's
watch
a
his
fucking
ace-king
bad
hold
card
up,
for me.
and this will greatly reduce Becker's chances to come out on top. 7 outs here for Becker, or Shin will double back into the chip lead. Let's see the river card.
Nice
It's
hand.
the ace of diamonds. Shin didn't need it, but he'll take it. And Jeremy Becker now down to 2.5 million.
Tough one. I mean, Queen Jack
I
suited looks good there,
pocket fives.
but you get value post flop in those spots. When you get
Yeah.
called,
Right.
you're a little tough. I mean, Queen Jack suited likes to play very aggressively
I
because
wish
you
those
can
sounds
maybe
were
get people to
delivered.
raise
Button
fold
moves.
ace X or king X and such. But in that particular scenario, I don't think so.
Good luck the rest of the way, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
But that's the beauty in this game, Remco. Who am I? I'm sitting here
Yeah,
watching
exactly.
from the sidelines.
I know.
These guys are playing.
What you
It's
got,
so much
boss?
easier when you can see the
got
card.
6.
It really is. And I
around
understand
6,
Jeremy
right?
shoving there. He just thinks Shin's going to be raised folding a bunch. But yeah, when you get called,
Yeah, around 6.
you
Yeah.
don't love it.
Thank you.
You're 8. 8.
I think it has to be more because small blind. So like,
It was
And probably like 8.3?
empty. Okay, 8.3.
I would guess 8.3.
I'll tell you, that dims the mood for me.
Wearing his emotions on his sleeve, stating out loud, his light has been dimmed.
I thought there was no room for emotions in tournament poker.
Oh no, that's where the
Ain't even calling
emotions
cards or nothing.
flare.
Action folds to Becker. Jack 8 off. Pi is still. He's almost like pretending he's not there, hoping the other players just bust each other out.
Yeah, he's just been floating around,
Oh.
but
And all in announced.
Yeah.
so this is close. I mean, you think 10 high, but when Becker's going to be jamming realistically probably 80% of the deck, maybe even more, this becomes very, very close.
Pi does let it go, surrendering 400,000
All
chips
right,
in the
lose
big
one,
blind.
win one.
Think if that hand's any bit better. 9,
it's
10
time to
suited,
lose.
Finally lost
call,
Nolan, buddy.
Jack 10 off, call,
You said you were
Jack 9
3.
off, call.
You're
so
3
very
or 4
tweener.
out.
I've lost my last 2.
Yeah, but
Which
we won
one?
your first 2.
Queens, ace, king.
Oh,
Queen,
no,
ace,
I forgot queens.
Yeah, he jinxed me.
I just remember the ace. Oh yeah, I
Three
forgot
now.
that one. Yeah. Yeah, so your streak was broken after that one.
I won
So you've just been going 1, 1, 1, 1.
I won ace 10 versus 9s,
Yeah.
8s versus jack 10,
Right.
and
Yeah, the queens. I completely forgot about the
What
queens.
was the
Man.
third one?
That was sick.
yeah, that was a bad river card for me.
Barry's been making an cameo appearance at
You
the
didn't
final.
need the. You didn't need the.
Yeah, I know.
Damn, I had a good feeling on the flop. 9-8.
All in?
How much?
Pi jamming with the queen,
Probably getting
deuce,
900,000.
offsuit from the
call.
small blinds, and
Call,
Shin
all
with the
in.
quick call.
Call.
Queen
you,
10
Shin?
dominating his
Queen
opponents.
10.
Pi, the short stack, looking for some help here.
Did you have a queen also? Because I did.
Not much else Tim
Could
could have
move all the queens?
done
No,
here.
right,
He's
nine.
got 4 or 5 bigs. He's got a queen in the small blind. You're just putting it in, hoping your opponent has a dust to fold. And this is not what you want to see get called by a queen 10.
Yeah, Pi hoping for diamonds, a deuce, maybe some chop outs or at least some kind of sweat here. 2 million chips in the middle. Can he find a way out of this? And we see ace, jack, 8. That is not delivering him much hope. A deuce and a deuce only now to save him.
Pair the board. I think pairing the board's
Yeah,
fair.
I was going to say 8 is fair.
An 8 would chop it, potentially.
Turn card is the 7 of hearts.
I asked for too much. Karma.
Still a small
8%.
chance for a chop. Pi looking for a deuce to double. And the 8 does come in,
I spy with you guys.
but it doesn't help as it is the 8 of hearts. Shin making the flush, throwing us for
You
a
want to
loop
discuss
here.
any kind of deal?
And Tim
I'll
Pi
gamble.
We're players.
quick to
At
depart
this table.
after a little
I'm always
GG
gonna
to
play
the
it.
other
Yeah, he's
players.
Get rid of me, you guys could
He
do
takes
it.
He's a
home
player.
$34,000.
Player.
Good for him. Hey, he's got 875,000 live
Last
earnings
time
before
J-Bex
this.
made
Did
a
you see
deal.
me call with those 8s?
Climbed
You
over
think I'm dealing?
900,000 now.
How much is now? 47 and
47, 64, 90,
64,
I
okay.
think.
yeah, yeah.
When was the last time you made a deal? Didn't you like chop like a nightly once because you were like tired or something? That happened, right?
No, so I owed someone a favor
Yeah, and then he really wanted to
that I
chop.
knew from Florida, and he
Oh,
wanted
gotcha.
to chop.
It's on you.
It was like a tax thing, so
That's nice of you.
I chopped with him.
Nedelku quickly brought up the word chop, and Shin said, we're all players here. Not interested.
This is
Jeremy
the
Becker
hand.
also
Maybe.
no interest. These
Hopefully
guys
the hand to get us back in the
playing
game.
for the 90K first prize. 47,000 guaranteed
you
for the
have
final
8-7,
three,
and you
64
have
for second,
5.
and
I have
90,000
more.
up top.
I have a stack
Yeah.
of oranges.
6 something.
As you hear the
I have
rumblings
more
of a
than
deal
8-7,
here,
like
the chip
9.
leader is the
Nice.
least incentivized to make a deal, and Jeremy as a short stack is also not too incentivized to make a deal. So that's not going to happen.
Well, didn't Jeremy also say it's going straight to makeup?
1.8.
In his bio, yes, he might need the win.
Right. Just play for it all.
So what hands would Jeremy shove here with? 15 bigs effective, probably small pairs, some offsuit ace-x, maybe some suited kind of Broadway stuff. Maybe we'll never know.
Who's not showing the cards? Me? Is that mine?
Becker's
They
cards
can't believe I did that with that hand, huh?
had some issues with the reader, and it was the suited King 10 they jammed with.
What's the pay jump anyways?
Shin with the classic. I don't even know how much we're playing for. It doesn't really matter to me. Well, Becker still the short stack here. Narcissus Nedelku on 28 bigs. B. Youngun Shin, the chip leader with 9.1 million. Still really anyone's game here. 3 experienced players battling it out three-handed at the final table of this ultimate stack.
I have 3-2 total.
Quick reminder here to please subscribe to the Venetian Poker Live YouTube channel. We're just over 2,000 subs. Trying to make it big here. We're posting daily content on the channel. If you are a poker fan, you best not miss out.
This is typically the stage of the tournament where we're going to see the most action. Short-handed, not as much on the line because
rolling
we're down
fold.
here to 3.
What am I
But
gonna do?
like Remco said, anything could happen from this point forward.
That all-in you won versus Burke was sick. That's what I'm trying to do. I thought I might do it.
You're one of the few people that won all in against me this tournament. Matt won one.
I beat you?
The suited versus 8s. That time I had 8s.
Oh, who?
Matt, he
Who's Matt?
Matt Lambert.
Oh, he beat you. Yeah, yeah.
remember?
He was super. Yeah, yeah.
Put
He
it
was
in
super
King
short. He's another good
Put in
all-in
the
player.
20.
2-4, 2-9, 3 exact.
Action folds to Becker in the small blinds. Three-handed play. Probably my favorite tournament play to watch,
Probably
just
wrong.
because you're always in a spot. It's always exciting. Heads up sometimes gets a little stale because you see lots of limping, see lots of checking. But in three-handed play, there's still a little more to consider.
Yeah, I mean, Jeremy here, where his chip stack is, he can still raise the button with decent blockers, decent equity hands, top of range, bottom of range stuff. He can have shoves. He can just stay out of the way. And I would expect Shin to maybe try to turn up the aggression a little bit on the number 2 stack. But
really
he
did
will
it
be
this
out of
one?
position,
The,
so that's tough.
Yeah.
I promise.
I believe
I'm a man of routine.
$5.3.
Nedelku announcing how much he has to make it easier for Shin.
All in?
Wow, I
Oh.
didn't expect something like this.
Big jam here. Of course,
My
doing that
goodness.
because Becker's shorter, Nedelku would have to find a real premium to make the call here, but still big risk.
That is a huge
jack.
risk, Remco. The risk reward there, shoving a hand like that,
Pocket 5.
does not compute in my mind.
Man, they say that Queen Jack suited is supposed to be like a real powerful one, huh? What kind of BS they telling me?
See,
So
Jeremy?
it's 40% of a royal flush.
Yeah.
See, Jeremy's not wrong. I noted
What?
to that. There are
60%. That's
instances
pretty hard to come by.
where Queen Jack suited does shove over
Should have just peeled.
opens,
I would have won. Probably.
but he's second guessing that decision, rightfully so here. Button versus big blind is a whole different category where someone could be raising an early position. You jam the cutoff or the button with Queen Jack suited, and maybe they fold ace 10 off, ace 9 off, you know, ace X suited. in a button versus big blind format, things are a lot different.
Nedelku, Jack 3 off.
500.
He's going to raise to
500,000.
500, not taking the biggest risk.
Yeah, this is one of the worst hands that could have even folded pre-flop. But yeah, you can do some bottom of range raising, hoping that someone just doesn't wake up with a playable hand here. But Becker's definitely going to at least see 3.
I'm in.
And Becker announces he's in, and we're going to see a flop here, actually. Flop comes out. Queen 5-4, rainbow.
Dry flop, range
Yep.
advantage. Typically see small bets here. And, you know, Becker has one of these interesting holdings. You're above the 4 and the 5. You have some backdoor equity. Do you float here? Is a question probably running through his mind.
Little tiptoeing, if so. Started this hand with 14 bigs.
It hurts. Show one?
Yes. Which one?
Ace.
King.
Close.
Jeremy sees he made a good fold. That
Yeah.
Jack high beat me.
Yeah, he was behind against the Jack. That's enough. That's enough. Becker really short here now, though.
And Shin, we see with
They were the
8
same.
digits
That's why.
for the first
said
time.
so.
Yeah.
The same, huh?
Yeah.
10, 5, and 2. The
course.
millions in front of these players. Shin definitely the
same
favorite
suit.
to take this thing down.
Ah, okay.
You played it good.
$43,000 difference between first and third. So close
400.
to a big win here for all 3 of these players.
400,000.
A6 here for Becker. Do we fight back for all of it here?
This is definitely a consideration here. You still have fold equity to some capacity. You have an ace against someone who's maybe raise folding, but maybe he expects Nedelku to be a little bit tighter, so he opts to pass. He also had one of the worst aces you want to have, ace-6 offsuit.
Shin, of course, with an amazing opportunity to turn the screws on Nedelku.
Call.
Yeah, we see 2 10s on this flop. Danger.
Danger indeed. And it comes Queen 7-4 instead. Shin with a perfect flop for his hand. He's just going to check, see if Nedelku wants to stab. I think Nedelku has continuation bet
Million.
every single hand he's
1
played.
million.
1 million.
And he bets pot on the flop here. Wow. I did not see that coming. What could be his reasoning here?
I think it's just one of those psychological huge bet to just win the pot now. And this kind of makes this hand a little more interesting for Shin. Usually, Queen 4-7, you just have C betting small with these stack sizes. But Shin might have some other options to clear out equity. Maybe he wants to just shove himself since he has top pair and the diamond. But I really like, you know, calling here mostly.
So Shin makes the call. Nedelku getting himself in a world of trouble, and there aren't hardly any turn cards that are going to make him feel any better here. Turn is the 3 of clubs.
Thank you. Was I bugging with that queen jack?
5-6. Oh, we hear Jeremy in the back asking. 5-6 gets there. Now, Nedelku has to be a lot more careful now because when you bet that much and get called, the range is going to be a lot stronger to continue. And we see the turn goes check, check quite quickly. And Shin, albeit a little scared maybe of this 7 pairing, he's probably pretty comfortable here to just go for a value bet.
What a massive investment here from Nedelku on the flop.
Yeah, I know it's only 5 big blinds, but still, it's the size of the pot, like Remco said. We see a check here, and that's really interesting here by Shin. Maybe he is a little concerned about the 7, but I think this is okay if you have a bluff-happy contender. Now, bottom of range for Nedelku. He cannot win this hand. What would you get to fold? Are you ever getting a queen to fold here? Probably not. Could you get a 4 to fold? Maybe. Could you get a diamond draw to fold? Yes. But you're never really going to be good here with 10-8.
Check.
And Nedelku realizes his misstep, knows that checking is not going to win him the hand, but sometimes you just have to surrender.
That's your hand. Queen 10.
And Shin up to 11.6. The tournament staff announcing that the blinds are going up again. Nedelku gave up quite a chunk there. Him and Becker now
Can you ask if I could get my phone
a little
strictly
closer together.
to see how many blinds I have? You
For a phone,
won't do anything on the phone. You just want to use the calculator.
wants to use the calculator.
They're probably not going to let me, right?
You can just ask him. He'll do it for you.
2.1. What do I got?
Jeremy Becker still
Actually, I
working
could do
on
it. It's like 8.5
on,
or something, right?
on what was it, third grade math?
Yeah, I think he came to the right answer. So I think he
8.4,
passed
thank
third
you.
grade at least.
Got a calculator right next to you.
I've seen many players, by the way, I think Kristen Foxton did it recently, stack their chips out and how many blinds they have left. Like every single stack was a blind, which looks really funny, but it definitely does the trick.
It's important to know, and yeah, with some of these levels, it does get a little tricky. I am often doing math in my head and hopefully don't get it wrong. Like that fold by Jeremy there. It's just too weak of a hand to do anything else, really. With his stack, he's really in shove or fold. So I like to see that hit the muck. And Shin, he played an all-in strategy with the 10-7 off in a different stack arrangement.
All in?
All in.
Shin is just going to jam on Nedelku, who with Jack 7 off can do nothing but fold.
Yeah, I mean, when the stack disparity gets this high, these plays are a lot better.
Okay,
But
8.4 minus 1,
you can
7.4.
also think about how your range wants to play and can you get value from those type of hands in different ways, whether that's a limp, whether that's a raise. But if you're just trying to jam and only get called by really good stuff and keep picking up 2 big blinds, like all power to you, chip leader. And I mean, even on the button here, we could see some
Have
pretty
7.4
shoves.
blinds.
Any offsuit ace, any small pair, any good suited connector. I don't know if queen 9 off is going to be good enough, but it's kind of a big risk. But maybe we just see some piling. think queen 10 off would be okay here for the 16 bigs
All in.
effective it is, but it's in there.
Yeah, he's just going to jam. And as long as no one picks up
Fold.
a hand worth calling, Shin is just going to make the chances of him winning the tournament bigger and bigger, because the shorter they get, the smaller the price when they ultimately do end up all in.
It's good to have chips.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the big line ante right now also absolutely ravishing Nedelku and Becker. 500K every time. Shout out to everyone in the chat, hanging out, watching. Appreciate you all for joining us. We're in the final phase of this tournament.
I think these hands find their way all in here. Jack 4 suited. Suited Jack X. It could be close, but I think we usually see this just run it.
1.6 million.
1.6 announced from Becker. He has 1.6 exact, so that would be an all-in shove.
That's all I got.
Shin. Seemingly with the
So
hand
that was 6.4 big, right?
he wants to call with.
No, it's less than that.
6.4, I think.
Good luck, buddy.
Oh, good
Thank
luck
you.
announced.
I have a famous hand. Oh my God, so sick.
Queen 4?
Jack 4
Jack 4.
for Becker. And is Shin
And he
on the
has a
table
diamond.
a better jack by a pip or something?
You're suited.
Instead, it's a better
I'm taking
4.
the chips back. I think I'm winning this one.
King
I
4 versus Jack
You don't
4.
think so?
Don't anti-sweat him. That's the mistake he made against you.
No.
Never anti-sweat the short
I wasn't
stack.
Will be-
anti-sweating. I was,
No,
I was in the hand.
I
King
know,
intermediate.
I know, but still. But you covered.
I feel like a jack on the flop. Did you have any cards involved? Be honest.
All right,
don't
Becker
remember.
looking for a jack,
my
a
God.
4, or diamonds.
It's just a cooler instead.
Instead, both players
Start
hit a
praying
4.
for a 3.
I have a 4.
Seven's not even good.
Becker looking for a jack and
I'll
a jack
take-
only.
Yeah, it's got to be a jack.
Running
An
5-6.
I'll take an ace too.
Six
Or a
on the
5.
turn.
I'll take an ace or a jack.
Okay.
No, ace is not good.
Oh,
We're
no,
not done
5 or
yet.
jack. Sorry, I just started playing recently.
Jack would give Becker to double up. A
5 of
5
diamonds.
would make this thing a chop. Instead, it is the 7
Take
of
it.
diamonds,
Yeah.
and Jeremy Becker is eliminated in
Go
3rd
up.
place, collecting
You
$47,000
got the
for
win.
his
You get a
efforts.
head start.
Becker brought the entertainment here to the final table. What he will not be there to battle it out for the title as Nedelku and Shin go head-to-head here with $90,000 at stake. This is
So now it's
Shin's
67,
tournaments to
90.
lose.
I mean, good run by
64.
Jeremy. Came in second shortest stack, took the chip lead at one point, navigated to third. Sometimes it's just not in the cards for you, but who are we talking about here? The youngin' Shin, fresh off a victory
Yep.
What's your name?
last week of
What's
an
your name?
1100.
Nice to see Shin. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Blinds, please.
We see him heads up to win another 1100.
Yeah, I think you were in the win
This is
tournament
what dreams are made of.
that I played 2 days ago too.
The 1K,
Yeah,
I finished 19.
yeah. You're playing against you were on the other table.
Yeah, I lost ace queen versus ace deuce.
I guess when you're running good, you're running deep and everything. These guys know each other from across
Okay,
the
let's
street.
see.
Shin with ace-8 on the button.
3 million.
I mean, I
I'm
would
all
just
in.
like to see a raise here, but this hand is fine to
Okay.
shove to.
Nedelku on 15 big blinds.
Like your offsuit aces can just jam. It's totally fine. But you know, you miss some value where like these type of hands will defend, and then you just get to play in position, and you also halt them from whatever jams they might have on you with worse hands.
Just want to point out here that Shin has live results dating back to 2016, but the majority of his results came in 2022 and beyond. A fair share of online results in the mix as
Oh.
well. But it is cool to point out that he just got his largest ever score and his first 6-figure result a couple of days ago for 130K. Right now, he's heads up to win 90,000, which would be by far and away his second biggest score, because up until 4 days ago, his largest result ever was $42,000. So this man is buying rounds or taking some friends out to a nice steak dinner because he is having the week of a lifetime.
Seriously. That's what every tournament poker player dreams of right there, Remco. Win a tournament. The next tournament you enter,
Right.
your heads up. That's unbelievable.
It is. It really is.
You get to play for this big Venetian lion trophy here.
The lion with the wings. What more do you want? I do love this trophy. I think every poker player should aspire to take one of these home one day. It'll look very nice at home on the mantle. By the way, we could also be watching sort of the breakout of a player who will become a feature like Jeremy Becker has become over the last 2 years. Maybe we're looking at someone who will start playing more PGT events. Maybe someone who we'll see at some big final tables in other spots. I mean, this is a name you have to now reckon with.
All in.
Absolutely. Momentum's real. Bankroll building is real.
You never have like 8 deuce?
I had one of those cards.
Yeah, but it's not enough.
And yeah, the better it goes, the more you fire. So who knows what's next.
All right, Shin heads up. It's his tournament to lose. Like I said, Nedelku on just 11 big blinds. We know how crazy the game of poker can be, though. Give this man 2 double ups, and Nedelku will be right back in it to try and win this thing. Blinds are big, though. The pressure is on. Let's see if Shin can close this thing out. Once again, my name is Remco Rinkema. Tristan Wade alongside me in the booth. Happy to call the action for you here of this Ultimate Stack final table at Venetian Poker Live. If you haven't already, do me one favor. Click the link in the PokerGo YouTube chat and subscribe to the Venetian Poker YouTube channel. That's all we want. Build that channel and try to see if we can
1-6.
take it to the moon. Nedelko here with the shove.
Okay.
King 5 off. Shin with Queen 9 of diamonds.
Very close. 10
like
big
what-
blind
it's like less than
shove.
2.5,
Queen 9
right?
suited typically puts the money in here.
Star 8, 9, 25.
Good luck.
You call?
Good luck announced,
Okay.
which means the call
Fair
has been made. And Nedelko, a slight, ever so slight favorite to get his first of, I guess, 2 needed double ups.
Yeah, the stacks of 10s confused me because I was mentally calculating it as like 5, and I'm like, is that like, you know, I thought it was a lot more, but you know, obviously.
All right, 5.5 million in the middle. Can Nedelko find a double up? And that
Good
is
flop for you.
certainly looking like it on A7 King.
I take the 7.
Nedelko pairing
the 7.
his king. Turn card. The
Okay.
deuce of
Nice.
spades.
So 1.9, right?
No, it's
Nedelko
more.
will receive a double up to 5.5 million. At what point do you start getting nervous if you're Shin? Because it does feel as though you're not supposed to lose this.
Oh, I was right. It was right.
Yeah. I mean,
You
it
want
was
to
still
see
a
the
10 big
numbers
blind
and play
shove.
for
You still have a
something
hand to
else?
call, but
You want to give
I wouldn't get nervous yet. Maybe if I double them again.
Right.
It's gonna be like pretty disproportionate because I have like, you're gonna double up to like 5.
Wait,
I'm gonna
wait to see. 2-6.
More rumblings of a chop, but I don't think we're going to see a deal be reached anytime soon unless these stacks get closer.
Yeah, Shin also
let's play.
having just won the biggest tournament of his
Okay,
life. Probably a little bit less incentivized to give away any dollars here. But
Yeah,
also
look-
understandable from Nedelko to ask. You know, you can always ask.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, look, you're down to 2. It's essentially our money to play with now.
like
They're playing
13 million?
$25,000 heads-up match.
Whatever you have minus, or 18 minus whatever.
So yeah, it makes sense to ask.
12 and a half.
But you know, when you win a bunch of money, the pressure is off you. There's a lot of pressure in this game, financially, mentally, physically even, to perform well, to get results. So once you start getting those results, it gets alleviated. I remember when I had my best poker run in 2012, and I was stressing to get a 6-figure score. I finally got it, kind of put the monkey off my back, and then I had some momentum and some big scores after that. So that pressure is real, and Mr. Shin probably doesn't feel any of it right now.
Exactly. What a nice situation to be in. Wow. Pocket aces for the chip leader. Heads up in the tournament. Sometimes it is just your day, and in this case, it is just your week.
I call.
And Shin with some trickery, limping in, and Nedelko picking up pocket 8s, which is also
850.
a monster in heads-up play, and he quickly raises to 850. We are in for some fireworks, ladies and gentlemen.
This is insane. I mean, 2 huge hands heads up. The money would have been in already had it been a raise from the button. But now Shin has to contemplate if he wants to just call and trap, or is he trying to put more money in pre-flop?
Call.
And he is going to continue with the trap. Now Shin, not knowing that he's actually looking for a specific type of flop, and the cards need to stay small, or else he might lose his customer. Instead, we see Queen, Queen 10, all overcards here to Nedelko.
Bet 400,000.
Going smaller than before, betting 400,000 in this one. And now there's absolutely no reason to raise.
Yeah, spot on, Remco. I think if any of the viewers noticed, Nedelko seemed a little nervous when he was c-betting there. I don't know if anyone caught that. Seemed a little awkward, uncomfortable. I think he's now navigating muddied waters that he's not too confident in. So we probably won't see him put a whole lot more money in.
7 on the turn.
But he could have the best hand overall.
Right.
Against a limp range, this could be called by Jack 9, by some ace highs, some king highs, but natural for him to check here.
Nedelko slows down. Action now on Shin. If he had been able to see the cards, or if he watches this back, he'd be like, man, I could have just gotten it in there pre, because that's how strong Nedelku's hand is. However, now that we are on the turn, that strength has weakened by quite a bit.
So this is a spot where you can just have a small bet. And it looks like that's what we're going with. You keep a wider range in there. The pot's going to be big enough to have a 1-to-1 stack to pot ratio to get all the money in on the river. You let your opponent maybe make a misstep. Now notice Shin doesn't have a club in his hand. If our opponent has like ace-x of clubs, some other club combos, maybe we see those enter as an all-in kind of candidate. But Nedelku has a really tough spot here. He can still have the best hand, and it's not that uncomfortable to see a call here. I think it's kind of natural to want to get to the river here with 2 8s.
All right, river brings the 5 of spades after Nedelku calls. 4 million in the middle. Nedelku has 3.5 million left. Is Shin going to swing for the fences here, hoping that Nedelku can find the call with the weaker hand? This is a huge pot.
And you got to just ask yourself here, you know, poker theory would say, yeah, our hand's worth all of it. Poker psychology might want to bet $1 million, bet
Right.
1.5. What would this person call with an ace high, a 10? You know that maybe all the money gets in if they have a 10. Maybe they hero call with a 7. But, you know, how do you get something weaker to call you, or how do you get something to bluff? So a 1 to 1.5 million chip bet here is fine.
And he does move all in instead. Shin does swing for the fences. And Nedelku now with the decision to make for his tournament life. How will he interpret and think back of that pre-flop limp call? Asking himself, is he doing this with a 10? Is he doing this? Does he have a queen? Does he have nothing? Does he have missed clubs? Does he have a hand? Like, what hand does he even play this way?
I think a 10 goes like this.
Oh, the call is made. It's over. It is over. Shin shows the aces. Nedelku tables the 8s for good measure. But just like that, B. Young-un Shin wins this tournament, takes home $90,000. And what a week he is having. Nedelku with a great performance as well, collecting $64,900 added to his poker resume. And even though it is quiet in the room, Shin must be jumping up and down on the inside with the adrenaline rushing as he just won back-to-back tournaments here in Las Vegas for his biggest and second biggest score of his live tournament career. And I am sure that we'll see much more from this guy in the weeks, months, and years to come. Here's a look at your final payouts. Like I said, Young-un Shin is our champion. He takes home the lion's share. And, of course, the Lion Trophy with the Wings. What a final table it has been. Thank you all so much for watching. On your way out, please make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. We'll be back real soon with more action from Venetian Poker Live. If you don't want to miss out, please make sure to subscribe to our channel and come hang out the next time we are live. Look at that. That trophy is going home with Shin. All right, thank you so much for watching. Want to wish you a good night. Catch the mixed game final table in just a little bit on the PokerGo channel as well. Donnie and Kevin will be on the call for that one. For now, from Tristan Wade and myself, Rem Brinkema, good night, and we'll catch you on the next one.